Okay, how we doing? Yeah, I'm up here 10 minutes early just because I want to make sure everything's working well. Picture seems okay. Hello, can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure the mic's working. Just let me know if you guys can hear me so that I can be certain. Got my Haiti shirt. Hello, Matt. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Maria. Hello, Quinn. Hello, Rand Malix. Hello, Dave. Hello, Garlic is Nice. Hello, Athestia. Hello, Cuba. Hello, Salty Hands. Hello, everyone. I can't keep up with this. Okay, you guys can hear me. Great. Wonderful. Yay. Let's just move that. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. How are you doing? I'm doing okay. Yeah. It's been a little bit of a hard day, but I was looking forward to this, so yay. Hello, everybody. How's your day been? Well, like I said earlier, it's been a little bit of a hard day, but this is the highlight of my day. This is always a big highlight of my month. I'm sorry that this one's so late, you guys. I usually do these mid-month. This one's towards the end. The thing is, it was my business partner's birthday this month, and her birthday is around mid-month. So, I threw her a party, and I, got her some stuff, and overall, it seemed to make her happy. So, it was all worth it. It was really good. I love your beard. Yeah, I was considering trimming it today, but what the heck? I'll just go with it. Hey, you sound tired. I am. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. I'll be fine. You want to talk about Philippine mythology because it is funny. Yeah. Philippine mythology is kind of funny, especially the Capre story. That I love that. That was my first Filipino legend that I learned about, and I learned that directly from my partner because my partner is Filipino. I went to her and I was like, hey, I've got people requesting Filipino mythology. What's a good Filipino legend? She was like, ooh, let me tell you about the Capre. And once she told me about that, I was like, I got to do that. Happy birthday to her. That's so nice. Yeah, I'll tell her. When's the card game coming out? I wish I had a definitive release date for you guys. I don't have a definitive release date, but our goal is to get to the point where we can launch the Kickstarter this year. We're hoping September is when we can launch it. We're almost done with the art process. However, one thing that happened recently was my partner and I, we looked through all of the art we have for the game, and some of the older pieces, back before we really got a steady hand on our artists and everything, don't really mesh really well. So we're going to have to maybe redo some of them, have some of our current artists redo some of our older stuff. Also, like some of our current artists even touch up older stuff that they themselves did back when they were still getting into the groove of things. So yeah, we're very much getting the last of our art finished and getting some art pieces touched up to be higher quality so that you guys will enjoy it more. All right, now for those of you who don't know, I'm going to interact with you guys in the chat. Oswong is so weird; it's pretty goddamn weird. But the main priority here, I've got them listed here. I posted a video a few days ago called Questions for the Q&A, where I asked people to post questions they really wanted answered, and that's what I'm going to really be focusing on. You've barely touched Egyptian mythology. Egyptian is one of the ones I've done less of, that's true. But I have done some videos on Egyptian mythology. I think I've done at least 10. There's then again, I've posted hundreds of videos, so that's not a lot. I'm sorry, I'll try to do more Egyptian mythology. My mom is calling me upstairs. Much love, man. Bye. Oh, bye, Mattel. That was fast. But thanks for dropping in anyway. You're a mythologist, I guess you could say that. All right. Congrats on 20K. Thank you. Yeah, we hit 20K this week. Hell yeah. And it's still going. We're up to I think 24K now. I mean, geez. Did you study some bachelor degree? I never finished college. I'm not that smart. I couldn't handle college level math. I couldn't handle college level science. Finished college level literature though. I actually took all my literature classes in one semester and got them all done. So that was cool, but I couldn't handle Even though, I'm told I'm good at math, but I'm not really good at, like, I'm good at, like, algebra, but I can't really handle stuff like calculus and trigonometry. I have no idea what's going on in those. Like, so yeah, I never finished college. I dropped out. And I just started, working real jobs after that because I thought, that's the point. How many different mythologies do you know? I'm pretty fluent in 8 mythologies, and I'm still learning more. The 8 that I know well, and I'm not counting Roman, because Roman is just Greek again with some minor differences that I do know about. But I know Greek, Egyptian, Norse, Mesoamerican, mostly Aztec on that one. But I do know some Mayan and Inca. Number 5 is Chinese. Number 6 is Japanese. Number 7 is Hindu. And number 8 is Celtic. I'm currently trying, and I am partially knowledgeable in several others: Native American, Filipino, Mesopotamian, Arabian. I read Arabian Nights a lot as a kid. And Slavic. I also know a tiny bit of Turkish and what was it? Zoroastrianism, I think is what it's called, or Persian. That's what it is. Yeah. So, 7 again. So I'm pretty well versed in 8 different mythologies and partially versed in about 7 others. So those are the ones I know. Was Medusa assaulted in all versions of her stories? No, she wasn't. Actually, most versions she wasn't. In the very original, she was a Gorgon her whole life. There was no assault at all. In the one following that, she was a self-absorbed jerk who boasted that she was better than Athena, and then hooked up with Poseidon in Athena's temple to spite her, and that's why she was punished. Then later in the Ovid version, I believe, that's where she became the victim of Poseidon and Athena. Like, in the original, she was always a monster. In the version after that, she basically got what she deserved. And then the version after that, she was a victim. And then in another retelling after that, I don't know when this started, but people are saying now Athena turned her into a Gorgon to protect her, which is the dumbest version in my opinion. It makes no sense at all. I'm 1/4 Native American. Good for you, man. Native American would be awesome. I've done a couple of Native American vids, and I'm hoping to eventually add Native American into my card game. What I want to do this mechanic with totems, and also Native American, for those of you who don't know, has its own zodiac. So I'd really like to incorporate that in some way. I was here at 13K and got surprised when you hit 20K. Thank you very much. Yay. That's awesome. That's awesome that you stuck around for that long. Nice. I really want to get into Greek and Celtic mythology. Oh, do it, man. I recommend checking out the Dowleri's Greek Myths book. That's a good starter for anyone who wants to get into Greek. And my book that really helped me learn a lot of Celtic was Jake Jackson's Celtic Myths. That one's Jake Jackson's a great author. He does a lot of really great stuff. All right, I'm gonna read the first of these YouTube question comments. I'm gonna drink a little water first. By the way, I want to thank everyone for showing up to the Q&A. It really means a lot to me how many of you guys pop by for these things. But yeah, as I've said before, I have so much trouble keeping up with the chat now because the audience is so big. So that's why I did this YouTube video for priority questions for this. So let's see if I can. I forgot how much I love mythology. Aw. Been here for a while. Love your vids, man. Thank you. Not sure when I came, but congrats on 20K. Thank you very much. All right. Do you know any Islamic mythical creature? Not really. No, I haven't really studied Islamic yet. There's so many mythologies, guys. But I'm planning to eventually learn Islamic. But first, I want to finish learning those 7 myths that I'm researching that I told you guys about earlier. Like, I can't, like, if I try to do too much at once, my brain's going to freaking explode. All right. How did Osiris, the previous god of knowledge, not think something was up when Set brought him the coffin? Like, this coffin is exactly my height and width. I made a video about that, man. Osiris really dropped the ball on that one. That's really weird. Oh, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, this is art from my card game. This is how Hades will look in the game. So let me know what you guys think of it. Do you think that's a good representation? I think it is. I tried to make Hades not look like a straight-up villain. I wanted him to look like, yeah, he's intimidating, but he's also a handsome, in the prime of his life guy, That's how I wanted him to look. What do you think of Rick Riordan's books? I absolutely love them. You're my favorite YouTuber? Thank you! Aw, that's sweet. Oh, it sounds like people like the art. Awesome. Very happy to see that. What's the most horrible German mythology? Oh, I don't know much German yet. All right, I got to start these. Okay, so Zobug asks, where did you learn everything you know about Norse, Roman, and Greek mythology? Also, love your vids. Thank you very much, Zobug. Where did I learn everything I know? So, I tell this story pretty much every time because people always ask. So I'm going to do a quick run through of it. As a little kid, my mom read me Greek myths instead of fairy tales because she was from European Georgia, where Greek mythology is very popular. And from that point on, I got really into it. First ever mythology book was Dowleri's Greek Myths. That was my beginning of learning of Greek mythology. And from that point on, I would always because schools always have like a Greek myth here or there. The story of Persephone is very popular. The story of Atlas is very popular. So, I would always find Greek myths fascinating. And of course, there's the Disney Hercules movie, which I loved. And that made me want to read the original Heracles story, which I did. And then growing up a little more, my parents, since they knew I liked mythology, they got me a computer game called Age of Mythology, which is probably my favorite mythic-based game of all time at this point. So Age of Mythology had Greek, Egyptian, and Norse myth. And that's when I learned about Egyptian and Norse myth. At first, I didn't know anything about those myths. So that got me into Greek, Egyptian, and Norse, and it kept going from there. And Roman mythology, I actually don't remember my first introduction to Roman mythology. I think it was when because we have family in Europe because my mom is from the Georgia that's in Europe. And we would go visit them once in a while. And we stopped actually in Rome every once in a while on the way to Georgia. And so I think I actually first got into Roman mythology literally in Rome. Because I would see all these characters, I'd be like, hey, I know that. That's Artemis. That's, Apollo. That's Zeus. And they'd be like, no, that's Jupiter. And, and I'd be like, what? And then I learned about how they changed all the names and everything. Do you ever watch anime that has mythology in it? Death Note and Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is based on Journey to the West, which is Chinese, and Death Note is rooted in Japanese mythology because of the Shinigami. A lot of people are telling me to watch Record of Ragnarok. It's on my list. I hope to get to it soon. You should try out Filipino mythology. I've done several videos on Filipino mythology. Just go on my page and search in the search bar Filipino. You'll see several videos. I've got Filipino creatures are interesting. Filipino creatures are weird. Filipino creatures are scary. Filipino creatures are strange. Filipino creatures are tricky. Tourist trouble in the Philippines. Encanto social distancing. Maria Labo's dinner. Those are just the ones I can remember off the top of my head. But yeah, I've done videos about a lot of Filipino creatures. Oh, and the Tikbalang wants you. That's another one I've done. 24K, congrats. Yay, we hit it. Thank you so much, guys. I want the game now. I can't wait. I want it to be out now, but I'm really trying to make it when it releases that it's really good. I'm doing the best I can. Christianity messed up a lot of mythologies. Christianity changed some things. I'm Christian myself, so it's a little hard for me sometimes. People in the comments of my videos are always crapping on my religion, but it's whatever. People have their own opinions. What can you do? And if I'm going to start a mythology-based page, I got to be ready for stuff like that. And so I handle it. What are the best myth movies you know of? My favorite is Disney's Hercules, even though it's not accurate at all. I honestly can't think of a single myth-based movie that's highly accurate to the source material. You would think the Percy Jackson movie would have been it, since the books were pretty darn accurate, but no, the movie strayed in so many ways. So don't really know what to say about that. If you could live in any mythology, which would you live in? Oh, I think I've said this in a previous Q&A. It would be Hindu, because I think that's the only mythology where the gods aren't coming down and just fucking everybody's shit up all the time. I'm Catholic. Good for you, so am I. Your favorite food? Pepperoni pizza. I cannot get enough of that shit. Like, that is my weakness. Is it true that in old Egyptian society, if someone hurt cats, it was considered a crime? That's what I've read. Yeah. So far as I know, yes, that is correct. Because they considered cats to be very sacred. Cats were allowed to just free roam how they wanted to, and yeah, hurting them was a bad crime. It's 4 a.m. here, dude. I'm dying. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Also love your vids. Clearly. Thank you so much, Morgan Freakman. Most accurate representation of Zeus in the media? Oh, okay. Most accurate. I mean, the Clash of the Titans remake did show that Zeus, manipulates and bangs other people's wives, so that one was close, I would say. Also, in the God of War games, he's kind of a huge dick, so I guess there's that. Are you annoyed of the media's representation of mythology? Kinda, yeah. Especially just because there's so much potential just in the mythology itself. You don't have to take so many liberties, but people take them anyway. Will you do... Sorry, I missed a comment that I really wanted to read. Love the art. Will you do ethnic art from ethnic areas? I have to take what I can get, and what I can afford, mainly, because I don't have millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've spent pretty much all my life savings on this game. So basically, I'm just trying to find artists who can draw the art and make it look good is the main thing. If I had a huge budget, maybe I could afford to say, hey, I want specifically this kind of stuff. But mainly, it's just, does the art look good? Do I think it's a good representation of the creature and the culture it's from? Those are my main priorities. And can I afford it is another thing. I've had to make... I used to have a tighter budget when it came to the artists I would hire, but I realized if I wanted higher quality, I was going to have to pay more, and that it's resulted in better product, but it's also been really hard on my bank account. Have you heard of Garuda before? Yeah, that's from Hindu mythology, the king of birds. Okay, I'm going to read the next one of these now. Vanaheim Stories asks, what's your favorite mythology and favorite god? I get asked this a lot. It's hard to pick a favorite mythology because I do love every single one of them, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would probably be Greek. I know Greek the most. Greek was my introduction. I owe a lot to Greek, and I know it's really hard for me to find Greek stories I don't know these days. Favorite god is Hades. I love the guy. Honestly. I'm very partial to underworld gods, but my favorite one is Hades. He was my first, he's always going to be, have a special place for me. The most media I see, they make Zeus a good person, but in actual mythology, he was not. You are correct. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because they need to make Zeus somewhat likable, since, they're not fighting against Zeus, except in God of War, where they just go ham. Favorite type of soda? Root beer and blood orange. Those are the two best ones. Do you have a patron? No, I do not. Some people have asked me why I don't have a patron, and here's the reason why. I'm going to launch a game soon, and I'm going to launch a Kickstarter for it. So that's basically going to be me asking you guys to spend money on me. So I personally think it would be a little... it would be a little excessive for me to ask you guys to send me money on Patreon and then me launch a game and then say, hey, I need you to spend money on this too. I don't want to be that guy. I mean, you guys can tell me what you think of that. If you think, no, it's fine, we'll do it anyway. But mainly I want to see what you guys think of that logic. If you think, oh yeah, that makes sense, or you think, no, that's stupid, do it anyway. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Will you do African mythology? I don't know much African mythology, but I do plan to learn it. And when I do, hell yeah. I do every mythology I know. Not accurate to the myths, but I really like the 2014 Hercules movie with Dwayne Johnson. Showed how the legend could have been creative, peeved at the end. Was he really a demigod? Okay. Yeah, the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie actually kind of disappointed me, because when I saw the trailers, I thought, oh, they're following the legend, because they show him fighting the Hydra, they show him fighting the boar, they show him fighting the Nemean lion, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be exactly the myth. It was not. It was so not, and I got really annoyed. Those were my thoughts on it, but I see if you're not going in with those expectations, I can see how you can enjoy it a lot more. What do you think is the most accurate representation of Hades in the media? Oh, you don't really see. Have I ever seen Hades depicted accurately? He's always the villain. He's always the villain. I don't know, man. Blood of Zeus, because he was just intimidating and smart in that, and we didn't see enough for him to be like a really villainous villain. So I'm just going to say Blood of Zeus. What do you think of the Amazons? I think they're badass and also very gullible, because Hera tricked them very easily, unfortunately. All right, next on these, Golden Plushie asks, who are your 5 least favorite gods and goddesses from any mythology? That's a really hard question, because I do not actively dislike any of the gods, honestly. Now, people have asked me who my least favorite Greek god is, and it's Hera. And that's not even it's not even that I don't like Hera. It's just that, she acts the most unacceptably, in my opinion, and she doesn't have a lot of cool stories to her. So I'm going to say Hera is one of the 5 least favorites, I would say. Who else is a least favorite? Aphrodite's kind of a jerk. She has her nice stories, but she's kind of a jerk a lot of the time, and yeah, it's kind of annoying, and the crap she does to people, geez Louise. One of the reasons I don't really put Zeus on the bottom of the barrel of least favorites is because there is a lot. He has done a lot of cool stuff, and he's a jerk, but he's also badass is another thing. And he has created even though his dick causes a lot of problems, it also causes all the coolest hero stories. So that's another thing. Haven't watched American Gods yet, no. So probably Hera and Aphrodite are towards the bottom and least favorite. You said any mythology, so God, I like the gods. This is a hard question for me to answer. Probably Amoikane from Japanese mythology. There's not a lot to him. As far as I know, he was just the god who kept trying to get Amaterasu to come out of the cave when she was upset after Susanoo fucked with her. So I guess that's 3. Is somebody spamming? Do you like PewDiePie? I don't really watch PewDiePie. I mean, I've seen him before, but he's fine. Okay, so now I've answered that, so stop asking that. Yeah, I haven't really seen much of PewDiePie. He seems like a nice guy. I don't know much about him. So that's 3 of the lesser favorite gods. This is a hard question to answer. What do you think about Dark Souls? I think I don't really like games that are just hard for the sake of being hard. I like games that feel like they have a decent challenge, but that don't just actively try to make it so they're the kind of game you die constantly trying to play. I never liked that. But I get why other people do. Have you ever watched Attack on Titan? Yeah, I've watched the first 2 seasons. I'm planning to finish it at some point because I know they recently finished the series. I thought season 1 was really cool. Some of the monologues were a little annoying. Sometimes the main character can be a little annoying. Season 2 got kind of weird. I was like, what is going on? So that's why I kind of took a break and thought, I'll just wait for the series to finish, then I'll watch it all in one go. Didn't realize this was a stream. How's the card game coming? Like I said before, we're close to the end of getting all the art, but we're having some stuff redone, and we're hoping we can launch the Kickstarter by the end of this year. Okay, that's it. I answered the PewDiePie question, and you didn't stop. So that's the end of that. Okay. Do you know Hindu mythology? Yes, I do. I know a lot of Hindu mythology. I've read summarized versions of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata and a lot of basic Hindu god stories. So yes, I do know Hindu mythology. Percy Jackson or Hercules? Ooh, they're both awesome. Probably Percy Jackson, just because, like, from his stories, more of his character and everything. So, I feel like I know more about Percy and how he would act in situations as opposed to how Heracles would act. Have you played Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Not yet, but when I do, I'm going to stream it. When I play Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I'm planning to eventually stream that game. Do you want me to stream that first or stream Origins first? I've already played Origins, but I haven't streamed it. So, do you like ninjas? Yeah, ninjas are awesome. Do you play Magic the Gathering? I was more of a Yu-Gi-Oh guy growing up. I preferred that game. I've had a lot of people who have play tested the game I'm making. A lot of them have told me it reminds them of Magic the Gathering, and I said, "Is that like in a good way?" And they said, "Yeah, in a good way." I said, "Is it too similar?" They're like, "No. It's like it has a similar feel, but it's like got very different gameplay mechanics." So that's what I've heard from them, and I'm very happy to hear that. Have you done videos on Hindu mythology? Yes, several. I did a video called Amba's Not So Warm Welcome. I did another video called Ukchai Shravas is an interesting name. I did a video called The Great Gambling Match, Krishna's Death. What else did I do? The fun fact about Hiranyakashipu. Just go on my channel and search Hindu. You'll find him. Favorite Norse god? Loki. I think he's really fun. And Loki once let a goat yank his testicles to the point that they almost came off just to get a girl to laugh, and I respect that. Do you play D&D? I've played a couple of times. It's not really a game that... It's a game that requires a lot of commitment and a lot of your time, and you always have to get people together, so it's not something I play a lot of, but I've played it before, and I've just kind of dicked around and made really weird characters, and I've had fun doing that. I named a character Salmonella Shunte, and like my friends were like, "Dude, what?" And they're like, "How do you even spell that?" And I was like, "Well, it starts with an S, and then there's a silent V after it," and then I spelled the rest of the name. And they were like, "Dude, can you shorten that?" I was like, "Okay, you can call him Sal." And they were like, "Okay, so SVAL?" I said, "No, when his name is shortened, the V moves to the front, and it becomes VSAL." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "It's a silent traveling V." They were like, "You got to be kidding me." Okay, all right. I do not like spammers, guys. Anybody who spams, I'm going to take you out of the chat if you spam. Stop. Do not spam. Stop that. That's not fun. It's not fun for anybody. I don't know why people do that. Favorite class in D&D? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've played. I was playing as a bugbear sorcerer who was also a janitor because I'm weird. And I like the sorcerer class. It's pretty cool. I also like the necromancer. That was kind of cool. Yeah. All right, I'm going to read the... Oh, wait, I didn't answer all 5 of the least favorite... That's because I don't know who my least favorites are. I like the gods. This is really not easy. Blue Eyes or Dark Magician? Blue Eyes all the way. I built a Blue Eyes deck once. What do you think of Egyptian myth? It's cool, but there's so much of it. It's really hard to... Egyptian myth is all over the place. Have you read Aragon? Yes, I love Aragon. Okay, who else are least favorite gods? Least favorite gods. This is not easy. Anput would probably be one. Anput in Egyptian mythology is basically if Anubis was a girl, and that's it. There's not much reason for that god to exist. So that's 4 out of 5. Biggest achievement in my whole life. Mythology guy read my comment 2 times. Well, now he's read 3 of your comments, so good for you. Favorite mythology? I touched on that earlier. Greek. You see Record of Ragnarok? Not yet, but I will. Any dream future projects? There are a ton of video games I would love to make. I'm hoping eventually I can start my own game company. I would absolutely love to do that. Is Baldur good or bad? I think Baldur's good. It's just like he was way too like coddled and loved by his like family. They like put him on too high of a pedestal, and that pissed Loki off. So like, what month is your card game coming out? I'm shooting for September. That's what I'm shooting for. Weirdest gods in mythology. Well, in Greek mythology, there's Kiametes, the Lord of Beans. I did a video about him called the Great God Kiametes. In Japanese mythology, there's a goddess who creates food by she literally turns into the area that food would come from, and then she pukes it up. That's a pretty weird goddess. When the god Tsukuyomi saw her do that, he was so disgusted he killed her. That was pretty mean, but what can you do? In Aztec mythology, there's a god called Coatlicue. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The mother of Huitzilopochtli. And she was a very strange woman. She had snake arms, leopard legs, a necklace of guts and body parts. And when she was decapitated, 2 giant snakes grew out of her neck to represent the blood. So I guess Aztec gods bleed blood, bleed snakes. Everyone bleeds blood, Andrew. Damn it. Aztec. So that's kind of a weird one. There's a lot of weird gods out there. So I've got 4 out of 5 of my least favorite gods. Probably Tsukuyomi would probably be number 5 because he's kind of a pompous jerk from Japanese myths. So there, those are my 5 least favorites. All right, now I'm going to get to the next question on here. Nabinor Shahil, I'm very sorry if I mispronounced that. Nabinor Shahil asks, what is your favorite among the games that are inspired from ancient mythology? Okay. Age of Mythology. That's my favorite one because I've spent the most time playing that. Even though that one's not always accurate, it's so much fun. You get to build your own levels. It's a real-time strategy computer game. And not only is it Greek, Egyptian, and Norse, but eventually they launched an extended edition where they had an added faction called the Atlanteans who worship the Titans, and that was really cool. And on the Steam version, they've added in DLC for Chinese mythology, so that's really, really cool. I mean, I love that stuff. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I know some voodoo, but not a lot. You're absolutely right, Hajun, the 6th heaven. All right, is Hades evil or just mad that he was outcast? I'd say he's neither. Hades isn't really evil or all that mad. He's in the stories I've read, Hades actually likes his underworld domain, and he's just like, he's just kind of that, he's like that family member who just kind of stays out of everybody's business and does his own thing. That's what I know of Hades. Can you list all the mythologies? I did that at the beginning of the video. So yeah, Age of Mythology is my favorite myth-based game that I know of. There's a lot of other good ones. The newest God of War is really good. And Black Myth Wukong looks like it's going to be amazing, but it's not out yet, so I can't say. All right. You should react to My Hero Academia because they have a Tartarus prison. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. All right, what's the most common misconception in Norse mythology? Right now, it's that to lift Thor's hammer, you have to be worthy. In Norse mythology, Thor's hammer is just heavy. That's how you lift it. A long time ago, I made a video about Loki wanting to borrow Thor's hammer, and in that video, like, Thor tells Loki, it's way too heavy for you to lift. Even I can need my gloves to lift it. And then the joke is, Loki says, then how do people keep stealing it? And Thor's like, shut up. And then in the comments of that video on TikTok, there were so many people saying, no, you have to be worthy to lift the hammer. And it took a while before some actual Norse mythology buffs came in and were like, no, that's just Marvel. Yeah. What games do you play? Do you play Call of Duty or Apex Legends? No and no. I don't. I'm not a big fan of shooter games. I like the occasional third-person shooter like Uncharted or stuff like that. But I don't like first-person games personally. That's just me. I like to be able to see my character, and I don't play Apex Legends because I don't really play games that are multiplayer only. I like to play games that have a good single player experience, and also I don't like to play gotcha games that are trying to take your whole wallet from you. I always hate that stuff. That's why I never played Fortnite. I don't typically play Apex Legends, and I pretty much almost entirely stopped mobile gaming because I got sick of every single mobile game I was playing constantly nagging me to give them money, constantly going, give us your money, come to the store, turn on notifications every goddamn day, and I got sick of it. Said, you know what? No, and I deleted them all. I deleted all my mobile games. I was done with that crap. Mythology Guy, do you know about the Kelpie? I do. Yeah, I just did a video about that last week. The Kelpie. It's called Crazy Creatures Kelpie. I know about the Kelpie. Gods with the most annoying pronunciation. Aztec gods. They're insane. We got, I'm not even 100% sure I'm pronouncing these right, but we've got Calciatlique, we've got Calciatotolin, we've got Huitzilopochtli, Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl, like Tezcatlipoca. There's a lot of craziness going on in Aztec mythology. Like any Aztec god, pain in the ass to pronounce their name. All right. What age did you discover your interest in mythology in general? I think I was 3. I think I was 3 when my mom was reading me Dow Larry's Greek mythology, and that's kind of when it started, honestly. What do you think of a Satru folk assemble? I actually don't know what that is, so I'm sorry about that. Zeus's family tree, please. Oh my god, we're going to be here all day. I mean, I can give you his direct family tree. His father is Kronos. His mother is Rhea. His grandparents are Gaia and Uranus. His children... oh god, he has over 50 children, guys. But let's start with siblings. His siblings are Hera, Hestia, Demeter, Poseidon, and Hades. Aphrodite is his first cousin once removed, I believe. Yeah. Or no, not first cousin. No, Aphrodite is not his cousin. She's his aunt. Yeah, she's his half-aunt. Yeah, and then his direct children on Mount Olympus include Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Dionysus, Hephaestus, Ares, and Hermes. And then he's got a lot of hero children like Perseus and Heracles. All right, so that's Zeus's family tree. There's more to it, but that's the direct stuff. He's also married to Hera and has a kid with Demeter. Persephone is his daughter. All right, I'm going to read the next one of these. Ace Anderson, hey, I recognize that one, asks, just wanted to say thank you. That's not a question. No, thank you, Ace. I really enjoy your content and your dedication to your audience. I also saw that you liked and replied to my comment on the Building the Wall video, and it made my day. Aw, I hope you have a great day. Also wanted to say thank you for taking some of my suggestions. Makes my whole week when I see a video I think I suggested. Oh, thank you, Ace Anderson. That's really sweet. Yeah, I try to do videos based on requests. And yeah, I remember the name Ace Anderson. I believe that was one of the requests I had in my folder. So yeah, I definitely did at least one video based on your request, Ace. So I'm really glad you like my stuff. That comment means a lot to me. That's really sweet. This is Greek mythology. Everyone is related. You're absolutely right, Rachel. Yeah, honestly, Ace, thank you so much for your comment. I hope you're watching. Oh, there you are. Went to the Creation Museum. They had a dragon exhibit. I was the only one who could say Quetzalcoatl. I can say it. I just can't spell it. Mythology Guy, the Kelpie sometimes has a partner as a horse to invite a ride, so they're both Kelpies. Huh, I'm not sure if I've ever come across that. Cool. Gods with the most annoying pronunciation. I said earlier, the Aztec gods. They're a nightmare. What do you think of Gilgamesh? I think he's very irresponsible. He ran out on his kingdom to go on an adventure with his best buddy who was trying to kill him 5 minutes ago. But he's also wise. He was able to dodge this seductress goddess and everything. What are Valkyries' place in Norse myth? Valkyries are basically the Norse equivalent of angels. They're flying women who come down and collect the righteous dead to assemble an army in Valhalla. They're kind of the, it's like, the Einherjar are the army, and I would consider the Valkyries to be like the elite unit, so that's what I would consider. Gotta go now. See you later if you're still on. Bye, Matt. Hopefully you had a good time here. Okay. Let me just check one thing real quick. Okay. All right. Cool. Just checking something for a friend. All right. So, who is Cassandra from Greek myths? Oh, if I remember correctly, I think Cassandra was one of Apollo's priestesses during the Trojan War. Wasn't she the one that Achilles took as his lover or something? Let me double check that. Hold on. So, yeah, Trojan priestess. She was an oracle. Okay, yeah. So that's who she was. There you go. Is Ares claustrophobic? I don't think he was, because he got mad when he was in prison in a jar. I don't think he was claustrophobic. I think he was just like infuriated that he, the god of war, had just been thrown in a jar and was unable to do his thing now. I'd be upset too. The Navy SEALs of Valhalla are the Valkyries. Yep, absolutely. Thor Marvel versus Thor. I did a video on that actually in past. Marvel Thor meets Myth Thor. Myth Thor would win, I believe. Yeah, because of how much raw power he has, and his belt and his gloves giving him even more. Are you going to do a video on the Chinese goddess Nuwa? I can. Here, I'll make a note of that. TikTok requests Nuwa. There you go. Made a note. Have to go to bed. Glad you like my drawing, and congratulations on 24K. Have a good day, sir. Oh, it's Talon Failer. Yeah, Talon Failer drew me on their YouTube channel. That was really awesome. I really appreciate that you did that. I'm glad you know that I liked it. Thank you for answering my question in the YouTube comments. It's so much fun when favorite creator answers your question. Aw, thank you so much. Yeah, I try to answer questions whenever I can. And speaking of which, I'm going to answer the next one of these now. All right. What fictional mythology, not based on a real-world mythology, do you like the most and why? Asks, do it for the cringe. Well, I assume you're talking about like a mythology within like a form of media or something. So like Lord of the Rings or Aragon. I really like the mythos they had in Aragon. I thought that was really cool. They kind of have a mythos in Star Wars. I'm going to go with Aragon. Aragon built a really amazing world, and I liked how each culture in Aragon, like the elves, the dwarves, and even the Urgles, all had their own mythoses and folk tales. So I'm going to go with Aragon on that. Really cool. All right, Hans Nixon asks, what in your opinion is the coolest pantheon? I don't know, man. They've all got such awesome pluses. Like, coolest pantheon. Oh, that's a hard question to answer. No matter what I say, someone's going to get mad. Chinese has got some really cool gods, like the Jade Emperor and Sun Wukong. Norse also has a lot of really cool gods. Coolest pantheon. But then Greeks got, Zeus and Hades and Artemis and Hermes. Oh, God, I don't know. I love every single one. I don't know who's the best. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. What is your HP house? Congrats on 24K. Thank you, Viking Yeti. Oh, Harry Potter house, you mean? Hufflepuff. I took the quiz. I'm a Hufflepuff, apparently. Have you seen the 7 Deadly Sins anime? I have. I saw the first season or two, I think. I think I got all the way up to the Goat Sin of Lust, and I haven't seen past that. All right. Love the Christopher's books. The Inheritance Cycle was lit. Yes, the Aragon books are very lit. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have an opinion on coolest Pantheon. I love them all in so many different ways. Veronica Lindbergh asks, your hair is looking better, my dude. Just recently fell in love with your channel. Keep up the good work. Aw, thank you very much, Veronica. I'm glad you fell in love with the channel. I'm glad you like how my hair is looking now. Yeah, I miss my long hair, but yeah, it's a thing. Also, that's not a question. What do you think of the Grim Reaper? I think he's a guy doing his job, and he's really cool. So, not much else to say there. Is Sun Wukong considered a god or some kind of immortal? From what I can tell, he is considered a god. Sun Wukong is a very interesting journey. He went from literally just being a rock to being a monkey to being the king of monkeys to being immortal to I think he went from being immortal to being a god. He literally gained his immortality by going into the underworld and fucking up like the underworld gods lists and records and taking his name off the list of people who were going to die. So basically that meant he was immortal. And I feel like he rose to godhood kind of after that. Like when he found enlightenment. Please don't tell me you just did a dad joke. I do dad jokes all the damn time, so sorry. Hufflepuffs for life? Heck yeah. Attack on Titan has elements based on Norse mythology. Yeah, it certainly does. All right. Olivia Lopez asks, will you do more Native American folk stories and myths? Another question. Do you know if the stories differ from tribe to tribe? And if they do, will you do each or try to vary from tribe to tribe? Think that's it. I love your videos. Thank you, Olivia. I'm glad you love them. Yeah, I try to do Native American stuff every once in a while. I did a fun fact video about the Wendigo, which afterwards people were like, you're not supposed to say its name. You're not supposed to show any images of it. You're not supposed to even think its name. And it's like, how am I supposed to talk about it then? Like, how am I supposed to, like, how would anyone ever be educated about it if you can't say its name, show pictures, or even think about it? I mean, I guess the creators of Until Dawn are all going to die. I mean, I did that video like a year ago. So far, I'm okay. Like, I don't know. I'm just doing the best I can. And yeah, I did a video called Native American Creatures, which, like, I talk about a lot of American creatures in that. And yeah, I do plan to do more. So yeah, Olivia, there will be more of that. What god is the most powerful out of all the mythologies? There's no way to know. Also, I love your vids. Thank you very much, Communist Yeet. But if some of the most powerful gods, I would have to say, I'm sure Chaos from Greek mythology is one of the most powerful. Also, Shiva from Hindu mythology is probably one of the most powerful. Ra from Egyptian mythology. Or maybe, like, there's literally a god that came before Ra, like the spirit of, like, existence and order, I believe it was. That one might be more powerful than Ra, but Ra is insanely powerful. Yeah, those are some of my top picks. Probably Chaos and Shiva are some of the most powerful ones. It's probably best to sleep now. Good night. Okay, good night, Pixel Pony 46. Thank you very much for dropping by. Have you done any videos on Shiva? I actually have not yet. I have to go. Super sorry. Have a great rest of the stream. Oh, bye, Ace Anderson. Yeah, haven't done videos on Shiva yet. I should probably do one on how Shiva accidentally decapitated Ganesh. I think that would be funny. If Valhalla is for warriors, where do the others go? Oh, there's a whole lot of other afterlives in Norse myth. One is like drowned souls end up in Rand's net. That's a horrible way to go. Most others, I believe, go to Helheim. Yeah, so that's where I would say most people who don't go to Valhalla go. It's weird, like, that you go to Helheim just for not dying in battle. But I've heard there's a lot of other, like, afterlives too. I don't get why there's a huge kerfuffle over the Wendigo. How can you educate people about the mythical creature if we can't even mention its name? That's what I'm saying, yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm not Native American, but I'm just, like, I don't know how else to talk about it. Do you know anything about locusts? I heard it's a creature from the New Testament from the Bible. Any thoughts of it? I actually don't really know about that. It's funny, I'm Christian, and that's the one mythology I don't know as much about. But that makes me kind of want to look into it, honestly. How are you doing, man? I'm doing okay right now. A little tired. Haven't eaten a lot today, but I'm happy to be here with you guys. What's your favorite myth? Probably the 12 Labors of Heracles. I love that story. How did you get into mythology? Oh, I talked about that at the beginning of the video. Do you know anything about kappas? Yeah, from Japanese mythology. The turtle creatures with caved-in heads that they store water in. The thing about a kappa is if it doesn't have water in the little cave in it has on its forehead, it can't move. So they say one way to handle, to keep a kappa from attacking you is if you see one, you're supposed to bow to it, because then out of respect it will bow back, and then the water will fall out of its head and it'll be frozen. It can't move. That's how you beat it. Stop spamming Wendigo Nightmare gamers. Stop that right now. Okay? Stop that. Okay, this is your last chance. I'm going to remove you from the chat if you don't stop spamming. Nobody likes a spammer, buddy. I don't like removing people from the chat, so last chance. Please stop. Okay, that's it. I gave you a chance, and you didn't stop. Bye. Who is your favorite god out of the 12 main Greek gods? Well, if you're saying out of the 12, then you're not including Hades. So I can't say Hades. Pastel Pure says, Andrew! Hello! Can you do something with Celtic gods such as Morgan or Dagda? I've done some Celtic videos, and I did a video with the Morrigan called Goddesses of Fate, and people tell me that's a really great one, so you should definitely check it out. All right, favorite out of the 12 Olympian gods. Okay, so that's every god except for Hades and Hestia. Favorite, I really like Hermes and Dionysus, so it's one of them. Maybe Hermes, because he's just such a delightful little bastard. What about folklore and urban legends like the Slit Mouth Woman? I'm down to do some urban legends. I did a Maria Labo. That's a Filipino urban legend, I believe. I actually don't know much about the Slit Mouth Woman, but I know some other urban legends like Bloody Mary. Everyone knows Bloody Mary. The Hook-Handed Man and some other stuff like that. The Kidney Heist. All right. Does pirate mythology exist? Yeah, kind of. They've got their own versions of sirens and the Kraken and everything. All right, I'm going to read the next one of these now. Gojira's Anime asks, have you ever read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? If so, what would be your personal stand? I have not read JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, unfortunately. I keep hearing people mention it, but yeah, I haven't read it yet. Sorry about that, Gojira Anime. Strongest god in Greek myth? It's probably Chaos, the primordial being of Chaos. I'm sure he could destroy anything at any point if he wanted. But if we're talking out of the Olympian gods, it is Zeus. Yeah, Zeus is the strongest one. Do you know anything about the Egyptian gods? Oh yeah, I've done videos on the Egyptian gods. You can check them out on the channel. I know quite a bit of Egyptian mythology. But yeah, some people want to say Zeus isn't the strongest god. Some people say, no, Hera's stronger than Zeus. I'm sorry, guys, she isn't. Some people say Athena is stronger than Zeus. I believe Athena is smarter and a better strategist, but she does not have as much raw power as Zeus. That's how I see it. Some people say Hades is stronger than Zeus because he was born first. Guys, born first does not actually mean strongest, especially in Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, it's usually the youngest who's the strongest. Kronos was the youngest out of all his siblings, and he was the strongest one. That's why Gaia sent him to take out Uranus. There are some stories I've read where it says Zeus is actually stronger than all the other gods put together. But then there's a conflicting story where it says that the one who's that Hades and Poseidon, even though they're not as strong as him, they would be a match for him. So it's a little conflicting. But guys, as much as we don't want to admit it, Zeus is the most powerful out of all the Olympian gods. I know some people don't like that, but we got to face the facts, people. I'm sorry about that. What Greek god has the biggest area? I don't know. How am I supposed to know that? I haven't seen them. Yeah, I like to think Dionysus does. Now, probably not because he keeps drinking so much. He's probably like whiskey dicking. Helen Lange asks, every time he does a live stream, every time he does a live stream, I miss it because my time is different. So this upcoming live streaming is 3 a.m. for me. Oh, I'm sorry, Helen. And I have to get up early in the morning, so I can't get up even though I would like to. Oh, I'm sad. You know what? I'm gonna do this. Next month's live stream is gonna be earlier. I'm gonna try to make next month's live stream for those of you who are in that time zone where it's way later. I'm gonna try to make next month's. Maybe I'll do it 1 p.m. for me, because right now this is 5. Right now for me it's 5:46 p.m. If I do, you say for you it's 3 a.m. when it's 5 a.m. here. So if I do it 4 hours earlier, it'll be 11 p.m. Maybe I should try to do it. I'll do it earlier. It's 3 a.m. here. Chat, have a nice night and be careful with the savage Wendigos. This is what I'm talking about. See, for poor Miriam here, it's 3 a.m. And for Jim Boley here, it's 1:45 a.m. I really appreciate you guys coming here when it's so freaking, like, late/early where you are. Hope you have a happy Easter. Thank you, Sean. I hope you do too. All right. Next, Kiyuhaba says, I feel like I don't comment anymore. Do you even know me? Who knew? I try to comment a lot. I recognize that profile picture, so good news. I do know you. But on topic, what inspired you to start this channel? Sorry if you answered this already. I have terrible memory. No, nothing to be sorry for. It was my partner. She told me to start this channel. Well, she told me to start the TikTok page, and eventually I realized I wanted to put it on YouTube too. But the reason I'm doing videos in general is because of my partner. She told me I should do it because the thing is, I used to try to be an actor and a comedian earlier in life, and you know, I've done stand-up comedy before, but and I've actually gotten really good reception every time I've done it, but I've never like gotten paid to do it. I used to do stand-up comedy at like the local open mic places, and I used to perform in like musicals and plays and stuff. And I performed at a dinner theater, and I performed at a tourist attraction called the Dungeon. And you know, I've always loved mythology, and my business partner, she told me, like, because like I hadn't been doing anything acting or comedy related in a while, she was like, hey, you know, a good way to stretch your acting and comedy chops and utilize your mythology, why don't you start why don't you start like making videos for social media? She said, you know, TikTok is growing a lot, why don't you try to make a TikTok page? Because something I had done in the past was, back when Vine was running, I tried to start a Vine account, and I was building a following on it slowly but surely, and then they took the app down, and I was like, oh, well, there that goes. And she was like, why don't you use TikTok? It's not that different from Vine. And why don't you use your comedy chops? And I said, yeah, I guess I can try that. And she said, and here's an idea. Why don't you make it all based on mythology? Because you love mythology, and you know, I don't. And she said, I don't see any channels that are specifically dedicated to mythology. Now, later we found out there were some, but like I was like, okay, I'll try it, and worked out really well. So it's all thanks to my business partner. What's your favorite mythology to cover? Probably Greece, just because I know it the best. You were a theater kid? No, I was a theater late teenager. I didn't discover theater until my senior year of high school, because some of my friends told me I should try it out. And also, I joined theater to try to impress a girl. Didn't work, but yeah. So I started at senior year of high school, and I fell in love with it. So then I did it in college, and I did it after college. So that's how that got started. That's how this channel got started, and it's going really well. And my first video that did really well on TikTok was the video called Oedipus Gets a DNA Test. That video got 3,000 views, when up until then I was lucky if a video got 100 views. I was shocked. And then my video called Greece Has a Zeus Problem, that got 10,000 views on the first day, and that was what started launching. After that, I was consistently gaining followers every day. The channel just kept growing there, and then I decided to make a YouTube channel and post all my TikToks on that. So that's how it kept going. Do you know any Caribbean gods, mythology, and folklore? Lord Haitian has some scary stories. Not yet. I'm still like learning Polynesian. I don't know if that includes Haitian or not, because I'm I'm still learning it. I'm not super far into it yet. Yeah. Who is the most powerful of the Norse gods? I think that would be Thor. Personally, that's my belief. Like, I think if Thor didn't have his gear, maybe it would be Odin. But it's either Thor or Odin, in my opinion. Sean, please stop that. Please stop that. I don't want to have to remove you. Please stop that. Adios, bro. Bye, Soma. Hope you had a good time here. Please drink some water. There's a lot to answer. Okay, drinking water. Okay, I'm going to read the next comment now. Favorite Riordan verse book and series. Favorite series is Percy Jackson. Favorite book is Last Olympian. I love that. It's just nonstop fighting. That's the kind of stuff I like to read. I had an awesome time reading Last Olympian, and I wasn't expecting more books after that. I thought that was it. And honestly, after I read that, I thought, okay, that's a good ending. I'm happy with that ending. And then I was all the more excited when I found out they were doing more. So Last Olympian, I think, is the best one. I know this might be a weird question. By the way, the person who asked before was Mason, and this person is Aliyah Z. I know this might be a weird question, but will you someday do a Draw My Life video? Honestly, I would love to. I can't really draw. Is there I'd have to find someone who can draw. But I would be down to do it. I feel like people might like that. It might help answer a lot of the questions people keep asking. So, I would be totally down to do that. I used to watch some Draw My Life videos. Yeah. Any update on your game? I've touched on that a couple times in this video. Yeah. We're near the end of the art phase. We're redoing some things. We're hoping we can launch the Kickstarter in September. And once we have enough art for some finished decks, we're going to post gameplay videos. We're not entirely finished with the Greek, and we're almost done with Greece, China, and Japan. We just need to get the locations finished. The locations are a type of card. Like, there's a Mount Olympus card, and there's an Athens card, and there's a River Styx card, and stuff like that. So we just need to finish those, and then the decks will be ready for playtesting. So we'll post some gameplay videos once those are done. All right, Diana Arzumanian says, first off, I want to say congratulations for 20K. Thank you so much, Diana. And my question is, who or what inspired you to start making videos? Oh, I already answered that earlier. It was my business partner. Like, this whole channel is owed to her. This whole channel is dedicated to her. She's fantastic, and she keeps motivating me and pushing me every day to be better and to, do more and accomplish more. And, none of this would exist if it weren't for her. So, thanks. Okay. What do you think of Greece from Hetalia? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that, James. I'm sorry. Ooh, man, the chat's really flying by. That's why I had to have questions on these. Have you ever watched or read or heard of the TV show Adventures of Merlin? It's a great show. Interesting look on Arthur and Merlin legends. Oh, that sounds cool. I might do something on that in the future. I like the Arthurian legends. I read them. I have to go. Oh, goodbye, Ku Haba. Oh, Ku Haba. So you saw me read your question earlier. I'm glad you were here to see that. All right. Have you written books about mythology? I have not, but maybe someday. Who knows? Okay, the true and superior Lego. Your name is so long it doesn't fit. But the true and superior Lego Grieve something asks, have you tried reading the Cthulhu mythos? If not, I would definitely recommend it. It's my favorite mythology. I've read The Call of Cthulhu by H.P. Lovecraft, and then later I heard there were all these other stories. So all I've read is Call of Cthulhu, and there's not a ton to that story, actually. It's just some sailors kind of running into Cthulhu and dying. Do It for the Cringe says, I love you, man. Me and my homies love you. Oh, thank you, Do It for the Cringe. That's great. All right. Let me just... Okay, let me just check the next thing. All right, and Adrian, let's read some of this. Can you tell us about Pythagoras? Oh, Pythagoras. Oh, okay, Morgan Freeman. Well, Pythagoras was an ancient Greek philosopher, I believe, who inspired a lot of other philosophers. I think he even inspired Plato. He, I'll be honest, I haven't really read his teachings though, so all I can really tell you is I wonder if the Pythagorean theorem was something he came up with. But yeah, he was a really famous philosopher. He inspired a lot of other philosophers, so good for him. But I don't think I've read his teachings, not that I can recall anyway. Does Arthurian legend count as Celtic myth? I count it as Celtic myth because it's the Celtic area. And actually, some of the Celtic myth books you read include Arthurian legend. So I say yes. I say Arthurian legend counts as Celtic myth. Favorite Greek god or goddess? Favorite Greek god is Hades. Goddess is probably Athena. Who is your favorite Norse god or goddess, please? Favorite Norse god is Loki. Favorite Norse goddess? Oh, no one's ever asked me that one before. I like Loki because he's very entertaining and he'll do just about anything to get a laugh. Favorite Norse goddess? Freya's pretty darn cool. Skadi is also pretty cool, though. Goddess of ice. I don't know. I'd say those are the top two. Freya and Skadi. Zeus versus Goku. Oh, I think Goku would win that fight. Goku has become stronger than some of the Japanese gods. And he was, I think at this point, he's strong enough to fight Beerus, who is clearly based on Shiva from Hindu myth. And I think Shiva's stronger than Zeus. Have you ever thought about streaming your stand-up act? Well, I don't have my stand-up acts recorded, unfortunately. I wish I did, because I've killed a few times in stand-up, but maybe next time I do it, I'll have someone record it, and then I could probably put that up. Finn Mccool, is he as cool as his name implies? Finn Mccool is one of the great heroes in Celtic myth, along with what's the name? The Hound of Cuchulainn. Yeah, Finn Mccool and Cuchulainn are like the two big heroes in Celtic myth. And yeah, Finn Mccool is pretty darn awesome. What's funny is like Finn Mccool's name is like spelled Theon McHugh, but it's pronounced Finn Mccool. Kratos versus Thor. We're gonna see that soon. Is Loki gender fluid? I don't know, honestly. They didn't really have that as a thing back in Northern times, but I feel like Loki, we've only ever seen him change his gender with the Sleipnir thing, and he did that specifically to distract the horse. I feel like sex just kind of happened after that. So if I had to guess, personally, I'd say no, because we don't see him commonly try to change his gender. He's much more often male. He's only ever done that once. So, and he did it for a specific purpose. So if I had to guess, I'd personally say no. If you think otherwise, feel free to say, but that's just my guess. American tall tales like Pecos Bill or Paul Bunyan. Oh, that'd be pretty cool, actually. Maybe I should touch on that. Like, what's that tall tale about the guy who beat the heat with the hammer? That colored guy who like successfully hammered through like all that mining stuff. I remember I really liked that story as a kid, and then he died doing so. Was that Paul Bunyan, or I don't think that was Paul Bunyan. No. And then there's also that tall tale about the guy who has the giant like ox or something. John Henry, yes, that's the one. Any recommendations for making basic myths for a custom pantheon for a tabletop RPG? Okay, well, there's some things you got that are in every mythology that you gotta have. You gotta have the underworld god. You gotta have the sky god. You gotta have the water god. Those are all basic things. Try to have some creative gods in there too. Like, try to have a god of something a little more specific, because that's always really cool. The Aztecs have gods of sacrifice, and there's also gods of honor and stuff in other mythologies, which is always nice to see. I think it's good to have a mixture of traditional types of gods that you always see and some new creative ones, just to mix it up a little. Because there's kind of must-haves, and then there's ways to stand out. Yo, I'm a new sub. I like what you do. I've always had a thing for myths and monsters, and it's cool to see someone online who shares my interest. Thank you very much, Dewat M8. Dewat Mate, I'm guessing is what you were trying to say. Why do most of the myths have such complicated names? Well, maybe because to that culture it wasn't complicated. Maybe it's just complicated to us because things are more simplified nowadays. Most realistic video games based on mythology. I think the video game... ironically, one of the video games that was most loyal to mythology was actually the newest God of War game, because the way even though it's clearly taking liberties and it's clearly a new story in it, all the stories you can find hidden throughout the world are very based on actual Norse myths and very well researched. So I really respect that game for the research it did. Also, the upcoming Black Myth Wukong game seems like it's going to be the most spot-on myth-based video game of all time, and I'm really excited for that. So I'd recommend checking out Black Myth Wukong and maybe picking it up when it comes out. Any way to start to get into mythology? Like, you got me into it, but I just want to know. Pick up Dowleri's Greek myths. If that doesn't get you into it, then maybe it's not for you. But if you're like me, it'll get you right into it. Any thoughts on Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon? Haven't seen it yet. Planning to watch it with friends and planning to put up a video discussing it, and then you guys will know exactly what I think. Hold the phone. Loki and a horse? Oh, you must be new to mythology, my dear friend Rachel. Okay. I'm going to read the next one of these now. Aiden Dupnik says, hope this finds you in good health. Oh, well, I am in good health. Now for the question. Do you think that the Iron Druid Chronicles by Kevin Hearn is an accurate representation of the myriad of mythologies shown? I actually haven't heard of that series. It includes a myriad of mythologies? I gotta add that to my reading list. Hold on. Iron Druid Chronicles. Iron... Okay, well, thanks for letting me know about that, Aiden. I did not know about that. Okay, Texas Ranger asks, how far is your knowledge of Norse mythology? I would love for there to be a way I can talk about it with you, talk about it like you do, but no one around me knows enough to listen. Well, I know a lot about Norse mythology, and if you're looking for ways to study Norse mythology, I'll recommend some books to you right now. Dowleri's Norse mythology, Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology, Jake Jackson's Norse mythology, and the Prose Edda. Those are things, I think after you read all of that, you'll be a master of Norse myths. All right, I have to go. Goodbye. Oh, bye, Garlic is nice. Emerald Forge says, you are funny. Thank you, Emerald Forge. Which is better, Norse mythology or Greek mythology? Oh, it's apples and oranges, really. It really depends on what you're into. I personally just like Greek a little better, and that's just because I grew up with it first. That's literally the only reason. Have you thought of doing other Asian-based mythologies, like I know there's a Southeast Asian vampire demon lady whose head flies around at night and sometimes has their guts attached to their heads. That's called the Penanggal. It's Malaysian. Yes, I do know about that. I actually touched on that in my video, Vampires in Different Cultures. Look, as I learn more, I'll do more videos on that stuff. I just try to do mainly what I really know well so that I don't get facts wrong. Hey, Mythology Guy, did you hear about the upcoming indie game called Griff the Winged Lion, based on multiple mythologies? I did not hear about that, and I'll add that to my list of things to check out. Griff the Winged Lion. Interesting. All right, who do you think has the best origin story? Probably Sun Wukong. Rock literally just turned into a monkey and then became the king of monkeys. And then I love the way he became immortal just by fucking with the god of the underworld. I think Sun Wukong has a really good origin story. Also, Zhong Kui has a great origin story, how he rose from like being this shamed, like but honorable warrior into becoming one of the gods of the dead. Have you read the Paternus trilogy by Dirk Ashton? Really great. Interesting take on how all mythologies are intertwined. Have not read that. Paternus trilogy. Okay. Getting a lot of things on my list now. Can you recommend some books for Egyptian mythology? Where should I start? You should probably start with Jake Jackson's Egyptian Myths. Jake Jackson, unfortunately, there's not a Dal Lares book for Egyptian Myths. Dal Lares is a fantastic entry level, but if you can't have Dal Lares, I'd say Jake Jackson. Jake Jackson covers things really, really well. By the way, if you click any of my recent videos, there's a link to an Amazon store with all the books I recommend for mythology. So I would say start with Jake Jackson. Also, Horrible Histories has a cute book called The Awesome Egyptians. Why wouldn't Hera punish Zeus instead for Zeus's cheating? Most of his lovers were tricked. The problem is she can't punish Zeus because Zeus could destroy her in the blink of an eye. There's nothing she can do to him. So instead, she just takes it out on all of his lovers, even though it's not their fault, which is something I don't like about Hera, but it's just an imperfect story all around. It's rough. What mythical creature would you want as a mount? Cerberus. That would be cool. Or really just any horse from mythology. Maybe Pegasus would be really cool. Okay, so I have a younger cousins and was forced to watch Descendants 3. Oh, I'm so sorry. Have you watched Descendants 3? What are your thoughts as you watch them? I haven't watched the Descendants films. I just watched because I thought they looked really stupid, honestly. So I just watched quick reviews of them, and it gave me an idea, and I'm so sorry you had to watch that. All right, I'm going to read the next one of these now. Jackaboy says, so I was curious, when you had long hair, why would you floof your hair up on the sides? Was that a style choice or just to get it out of your face? Both. I kind of like my hair floofed. I like my hair messy. It's just something I personally like. I know other people are like, what is wrong with your hair? I like it messy. I like it floofed. I like poofy hair. But it was also to get it out of my face because it kept falling in my face. So it was kind of a two birds with one stone kind of deal. Sebastian Erickson asks, if you could adapt any myth like a Cinderella story series, which myth? Oh, okay. I think you're saying which myth would I like most turned into a series? Heracles, the 12 Labors of Heracles. I think that would make a great series. You could do 12 episodes. Be perfect. Have you ever played Hades? Yes, I have. And I've streamed it at twitch.tv/Zaggard. You can see it there. Have you played Valheim? Once, which again, streamed at twitch.tv/Zaggard, and we'll stream it more in the future. What do you think about Clash of the Titans and Wrath of the Titans movies? Good or bad? There's parts of them that are fun, but a lot of it is a little weird. But they do have their awesome moments, honestly. I could see what they were trying to do, and I might review those in the future. Well, that's not fair on them. Oh, you mean on Zeus's lovers. Yeah, it's not fair. What can you do? Zeus legit swallowed Athena's mom. What kind of kinky Greek crap is this? Yeah, I'm with you. I did a video about that called A Fun Fact About Metis. I just got to Jake Johnson book about Greek. Oh, whoa, okay, that comment is Greek and Roman myths. Good for you, man. Overly sarcastic and me talk about mythology a lot. Yeah, I've heard. The hair floof was cool. Glad to hear it. Athestia has to go now. Goodbye, Athestia. If you had to choose a yokai as a roommate, what would it be? Probably the plate warrior, because I feel like he would defend the house. And if he betrayed me and tried to attack me, I could just hit him with a baseball bat and he'd shatter to pieces. The Seto Taisho, I believe it's called, the warrior made entirely out of dishes. Yeah, I would pick him as a roommate because I feel like he would protect our room. And if he went against me, I could just, you're dead. All right. Have you seen Ruby? I had a friend who showed me one episode. It seemed kind of cool. All right, I'm going to read the next one of these now. Garlic is nice. Oh, I wish Garlic was still here, unfortunately. Garlic asks, Is there a particular mythology that you like over others? Oh, well, I did kind of answer this. Greek is my favorite, but that's only because I have such a connection to it. Like, I grew up with it and I know it the best. Thoughts on Oedipus? That is a fucked up story. Did you like the Hercules movie that Dwayne Johnson played? Oh, I talked about that earlier. It disappointed me, especially because Dwayne Johnson is a great choice for Hercules. I thought that movie could have been great, but it was okay. Just wrote an essay for a myth class about Heracles. Loved reading his story. Yeah, I loved it too, very much. Did you know that Athena let Hephaestus breed with her? And speaking of Athena, she is getting a solo film in 2022. Well, I'm glad she's getting a film. I did not know about that. I heard there a version where Hephaestus tried to jerk off on her or something. It was weird. I've never heard a version where she let him breed with her. I haven't heard that. Can you spell your friend's name for Twitch? Oh, okay. Zagard. That's how you spell it. Zagard. That's how you spell it. Also, look at any of my old just posts, like written posts, and you'll find it in one of those. Hold up. How do you spell the Twitch channel? Oh, I just said that. Zagard. What mythical creatures are the most powerful? Oh, Typhon and Apophis and Ymir and Tuataphtli and yeah, those are some of the most powerful. And Shesha from Hindu myths. I would say those are some of the most powerful in mythologies. Oh, and Otake Maru from Japanese myth. What is the first myth you ever read? The myth of Gaia and Uranus, because it's the first myth in the Dowlery's book. That was the first myth I ever read. Cain would fight the gods better than Adam. I don't think Cain would stand a chance, honestly. He's just a guy. The almighty lord of beings. If Zeus was dethroned, who would you choose to replace him? I would choose Athena, probably. I think she's the most level-headed and best to handle it. Wasn't Hephaestus tricked into harassing Athena? Yes, he was. I was telling this to my bro yesterday, but I think the Awizult would make a cool anime character. He certainly would. I think so. Were you saying that because you saw my video on it? That'd be cool. All right, next one of these. I want to finish all of these before we finish this Q&A. Oh, God, we're already an hour and 20 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to try to finish these. Are you Dave the Pastry Maker asks, are you like a professor of Greek mythology? I am not. I've been told I should be, so maybe one day we'll see. But I feel like that's a job I would legit really enjoy. That'd be a lot of fun, I think. Okay, King of Proxies asks, who are your top 5 gods of any mythology? Oh, I got asked for bottom 5. Now I'm getting asked for top 5. Okay, this is much easier. Hades, Anubis, Loki, Kali from Hindu mythology. By the way, I'll say who they all are. Hades is from Greek. Anubis is from Egyptian. Loki is from Norse. Kali from Hindu. And then it's either... Actually, okay, so... Then some of my other... Then Sun Wukong is probably another number 5 in the top 5 from Chinese. But I do have some others who I really like. I really like Mictlantecuhtli from Aztec mythology. And I really like Zongqi from Chinese mythology. Those are 2 others I really like. So those are my tops. Kyla Clemens asks, have you seen any of Overly Sarcastic Productions videos? They cover different mythologies and myths. Yeah, I've seen a few. Back when I was doing research for mythology, I would occasionally watch Overly Sarcastic Productions. And when I was doing research for my game, I would watch Overly Sarcastic Productions once in a while. They're really entertaining. I highly recommend them. If you like my stuff, I think you're going to love their stuff. A lot of my fans are fans of theirs, which is really cool. Have you ever played Kid Icarus? I have not played it yet. I've played as him in Smash Brothers, but I have not played his games. What is the creepiest mythology? It's either Aztec or Japanese. They have the creepiest stuff going on, those 2. Aztec and Japanese are the 2 creepiest I've ever read. Creepiest monster. Oh, God, there's so many. The Awizult is one. The Tsitsi Meedle is another in Aztec myth, like this woman who has snakes coming out of her area. Also, there's this creature in Japanese mythology that's literally just a pale human body bent over with an eye sticking out of its butthole. So that's another real freaking weirdo. Also, the Knuckleavee from Scottish mythos, which I did a video about called Crazy Creatures Knuckleavee. That's another crazy freaking one. Hades is just misunderstood. Yeah, kinda. Athena literally has been inside of Zeus. So has Dionysus. Zeus has birthed 2 of his children. If you were a professor for mythology, watch me go to class every day. Oh, thank you, Rachel. That's so sweet of you. Have you played Assassin's Creed Valhalla? No, I have not. I haven't played Odyssey yet, and I'm going to stream it when I do, and then after that, maybe Valhalla. Here's the thing, though. Based on what I've heard, and feel free to fact check this before you make a decision, but based on what I've heard, don't buy that game. For 2 reasons. 1, game-breaking bugs. 2, disgusting attempts to get money from you when you already bought the game. I've heard like almost everything in that game is monetized. Please fact check though, because I haven't played yet. But if that's true, don't buy that game. Like, and they're adding in more monetization instead of fixing their bugs. That's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely sickening. Do you play D&D? You seem like a good dungeon master. Oh, I answered that earlier. I played D&D. I made characters called Salmonella Shunte, Dr. Wunter / and Prickleberry Crunch because I'm a weirdo. I've never been dungeon master. That might be fun, actually. Planning on doing any more crazy creatures? Yes, I want that to be a regular series. I want to try to keep doing those. Like, there's plenty of crazy creatures to choose from. What about Native American myth of the Wendigo? Oh, I've talked about that before on the channel. I did a video called Fun Fact About Wendigos. Can you explain what the most powerful thing in every culture in mythology? Man, everyone wants to know what the most powerful stuff is. Well, most powerful in Greek is probably chaos. Most powerful in Hindu is probably Shiva. Most powerful in Egypt might be the spirit of order itself. I don't know what the most powerful in Norse is, because in Norse, the power dynamics are constantly changing. Most powerful thing in Aztec might be Huitzilopochtli. Yeah. Who is your favorite Percy Jackson character? Percy, the man himself. He's my favorite one. I would be in the front seat if you were a myth teacher. Thank you very much. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood or read the manga? It's actually on my watch list. On like my HBO watch list, and I plan to watch it soon. Valhalla is pretty inaccurate. I'm guessing you're talking about the Assassin's Creed game. I'm sure it is. Hey, Mythology Guy, you should check out the Grimm TV show. I love that show. I used to watch it all the time, and it's done now. So I love that show. I used to watch that show a lot. I watched it all the way through. What do you think of the rumored Olympian cinematic universe and what the Athena film would be like? I would think they stole my idea. I always thought it would be a really cool idea because, we're kind of superheroed out. I feel like in superhero movies have been the big thing, and so I thought the next big thing could be myth movies, and it looks like they're doing it now. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea. It's all about execution, though. Can they execute it well? That's what's important. Who would win in a fight? A dragon, a wyvern, a serpent, or a worm? Probably a dragon. Because in everything I see, they seem to be the most powerful out of all of those. Hey, I'm weird-ass mythology dork on TikTok. What did I miss? Oh, cool. Is Buddha himself the strongest? No way to really know, because he won't fight anybody. Okay, next question on here. Sarah Williams says, if someone was to gift you a drawing or comic or anything that can be sent virtually, where would we send it to you? Aww. That's so sweet. If you wanted to send me something digital, you can message me on Instagram. That's the best way to do it, I think. Is the best way to do it. And if you don't have an Instagram, maybe just post a link to it on YouTube, because I don't really have is there still a way to message people on YouTube? I don't know if there is. But try to message me on Instagram. That's what I would say is the best way. And if not, see if you can message me on YouTube, or if you can just link it to me on YouTube in some way. That is so sweet, Sarah. Thank you. All right, well, hopefully Sarah heard that. That's so sweet. I'm also thinking about setting up a PO box because some people have been wanting to actually send me physical things. So I'm thinking about setting up a PO box. Gurlum Gutsa says, just found the channel, love it. What will your gameplay like? Greetings from Denmark. Oh, great, we got a person from Denmark. Glad you love the channel. The game will play similar to like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering, where you play creatures and then have them attack your opponent's creatures. And I will post gameplay videos once I'm able to. What's your favorite Aztec god? Mictlantecuhtli, the god of the underworld. Smaug versus Aludin. Just curious. I don't know who Aludin is. Are you talking about Aladdin? Have you read the Aru Shah novels yet? I've read the first one. Haven't read the others yet. In fact, they're right behind me. You can see them. Yeah, I want Gim to get a rework for the show, to be honest. Loved it, but the ending was kind of sucky. Yeah, I agree. Did you know you're the only reason I downloaded TikTok? Aw, that's so sweet. Does anyone know how AC Valhalla has disgusting ways to get money? Well, they have like these time saver, I think, like monetizations, like to level up and stuff, and like all these skins and gear and like gear upgrading systems that are all locked behind monetization. That's some of it for you, which should not be in a game that you already have to pay $60 for. That's bullcrap. Just wanted to say hi. Much love from Greece. Oh, an actual Greek. Hey, well, thank you very much, Michael. That's very nice of you. I'm learning Old Norse. It's so hard, I'll bet. How do you feel about Christian mythology? Well, I am Christian, so that should give you an idea. What's your favorite African monster? I don't know enough African myth yet to answer that, unfortunately. But hopefully someday. My niece says hi. She likes your content too. We're from Fiji. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, Rachel, tell your niece I said hi back. Hello, Rachel's niece. Aludin from Skyrim. I haven't played Skyrim yet, so that's why. I play Elder Scrolls Online once in a while, though. That's a fun game. All right, next question on here. Bosk asks, what do you think about the way Norse and Greek mythology is presented in the God of War games? Also, I love your videos. Okay, so the way the God of War games presented, by the way, I'm glad you like my videos. The way the God of War games presented is just for the sake of being badass, mainly. Now, in the early the way the God of War games depict Greece is so off, so inaccurate, it feels like almost no research was done. But it's cool. They do it cool. So it's really like, if you're willing to go in with that expectation, I think you can have fun. God of War 4, however, was incredibly well researched. I was shocked in a very happy way. I was very happy with God of War 4. I was very impressed by how well they did it. That twist at the end, though, they're going to have to change up some stuff, so I'm not sure how to feel about that. I have to go. See you on the next stream. Okay, bye, Viking Yeti. Always nice to see you in the streams. Who would win in a fight, Jormungandr or Fenrisufler? Are you talking about Fenrir? I think Jormungandr would win that fight. What is your job? Well, right now, this is all I do. I used to work at a tourist attraction called the Museum of Ice Cream, but that place is shut down because of the pandemic. And before that, I was working at a tourist attraction called the Dungeon, and don't work there anymore. Aludin is the eater of worlds. I'm pretty sure he's a bit okay. All right, well, then maybe Aludin would win. Christianity has a lot of extra biblical stuff to cover. Indeed, it does. Which myth makes the least sense? Myths that make the least sense. I've done question videos, so you could probably check out some of those for myths that don't make a ton of sense. Maybe how Achilles got killed. That's one that doesn't make a ton of sense. It's like, why didn't you just dip him all the way in the sticks? But then there are versions where also, how did he get shot specifically in the one place? Who shoots a guy in the ankle? Like, Paris of Troy is supposed to be a great marksman. Like, did he know that was where he was supposed to shoot him? Okay, I'm going to head out now. Really love your videos. Love from Guam. Bye. Okay, bye, Dewat, mate. Your opinion on Hephaestus. I personally love Hephaestus. Oh, Garlic is nice. You're still here. Nice. I personally love Hephaestus. I know some people don't like him because of the Athena story, or they say he forced Aphrodite to marry him, but Hephaestus has had it pretty rough. I think he's a good guy. And I would love to hang out with him if he existed. I looked up Athena and Hephaestus. She felt bad and let him breed with him on cotton. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Goodbye. She said hi. Yay, Rachel's niece. If you check out Rick Riordan's Myth Book of Gods, you'll see that's talking to someone else. What mythical creature do you think could benefit our world today? Maybe the cow from Norse myth who like provides nutrients. I think that would be very beneficial. Or Amalthea, the goat who raised Zeus. Like, I'm sure that she would be very nice. Most other creatures are just awful. Shusha from Hindu mythology, the great guardian serpent. I'm sure like having him around would be pretty cool. All right. Meta Lakshman asks, how did you get into Greek mythology, and have you read Magnus Chase? I answered the Greek mythology thing much earlier. I have read Magnus Chase. I like it very much. I like the first book a ton. I feel like the other books weren't as good, but they were still good. Yeah. Okay. Are you going to do more streams / gaming streams? Yes, I do this live Q&A every single month, and I do gaming streams at twitch.tv/Zaggard every single Wednesday. So that's what I do. That was a question from the Fighting Fedora guy. So I hope that answers your question. Next, Michael Flamel asks, are there any books, online resources, or sort you would recommend for learning about various mythologies? Yes. There's a YouTube channel called Mythology and Fiction Explained. It's very good. There's another YouTube channel called Overly Sarcastic Productions. And for books I recommend, links in my recent videos have a link to an Amazon store with all the myth books that I currently recommend. So those are the books I recommend. Robin Railinghouse asks, do you like medieval mythology? Like demons, dragons, angels, witches, and such? That's mainly Celtic, and yes, I do. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. It's cool to read Celtic, because that's the one most like, the knights and stuff, and it feels so familiar. Have you read any H.P. Lovecraft? Yes, I touched on that earlier. I read The Call of Cthulhu and a couple other stories. It's pretty cool stuff. Just putting it out there, the story of Theseus and Pirithous myth in the style of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. If this idea has to live in my brain, then I'm going to inflict it on others. That is fantastic. That sounds amazing. Just finished Tower of Nero, and I'm dying inside. Oh, don't spoil it. I haven't read that yet. I'm still in the middle of Tyrant's Tomb. What makes more sense to you? Aphrodite created from Uranus's genitals, or being a child of Zeus? I go with the Uranus version. And it makes sense. She's literally born from sexual. I don't know. That's the version I go with. And it makes her more of a goddess, like who comes out of the water. That's the art we all know of. TikTok sketch compilation 20, and yes, the movies do suck. No offense to the actors. Oh, you're talking about that Percy Jackson video I did. Yeah. The movies are not great, but the actors, you can't blame them for it. It's not their fault. Actually, and thank you, Neil Tardan, the movie sort of Olympian cinematic universe. Yeah, I didn't know that they were starting that. I'm really excited to hear about it. Okay. Psychonide Boy asks, what are your thoughts on the game Smite, Battleground of the Gods? Okay, so I used to play Smite because obviously when I heard about that, I had to play it. But I don't like MOBA gameplay, really. It's not for me. I was also really disappointed that there was no story mode or anything. That's what I like in video games. I like single play. I think when you make a game, you should make a complete single player experience and then a multiplayer experience. That's just me. I get why people think differently. But I think you should be ready for people who want to play your game offline, or like who just want to enjoy it without like getting other people involved. Like, because sometimes, either your friends don't have the same system as you, or they just don't want to play it. Or like when you're playing with random people online, it just becomes really toxic and really annoying. So I prefer to play games single player personally. Like, I love playing games with my friends, don't get me wrong, but I don't like it when that's the only option. Thoughts on Zoroastrianism? It's pretty crazy. I've looked into it a little bit, and yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff there. I always love the Medusa stories. Sorry if I spelled her name wrong. No, you spelled it right. Who is your favorite giant from Norse mythology? Ooh, that's a hard one. Loki. Loki's a part giant. There you go. Mythology guy, can you list Heracles' labors in order? Okay, I'll try. I believe the first one was the Nemean lion. I believe the second one was the Hydra. After that, I'm not too sure on the order, honestly. I know one of them was the Erymanthian boar. I know another one was the girdle of Hippolyta. That's 4. I know another one was the doe of Artemis. That's 5. I know another one was the cleaning the stables. That's 6. And I know another one was the red cows of Gurion. That's 7. And I know another one was the, taming the mares, the man-eating horses. That's 8. What am I missing? Like, I know the last two, like 11 and 12, are delivery of Cerberus and the golden apples of the Hesperides tree. I'm missing 2 labors. What were the other 2? Krakatoa. What was it? What were the other 2? All right, I give up. I'm going to look them up. "12 labors of Hercules." Like, I would spend more time thinking, but people are waiting, so... Oh, right! The Stymphalian birds and the Cretan bull. That's what they were. I can't believe I forgot about the Stymphalian birds. Stupid. God. Most feared creature, person, or thing from all different mythologies. Ooh. One is the Awizot. I would not want that thing eating my eyes, teeth, and nails. That's one of the most feared, I would say. There's also this creature who I know... I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Swedish or something, that pretends to be like a straw sex toy, and then if you try to bang it, like, then it skins you alive and turns you into like a sex toy. It's a really weird creature. Another one I fear a lot is Wanyudo, the flaming wheel from Japanese mythology, who bites the legs off babies. It's really messed up. Those are some of my top ones. Mythology guy, man-eating horses and man-eating... I said man-eating horses. Yeah, the ones I forgot were the birds and the Cretan bull. Those are the ones I forgot. I can't believe I forgot the birds. I know about the birds. I freaking have a card for them in my game. I'm so stupid for forgetting that. Did you know that Orion successfully bred with Athena and Nyx bred with Athena while Athena slept? Please make those into shorts, especially Athena's move where she is mocking everyone. All right. Oh, I can do that. Yeah, I just took a picture of that comments because then it's easier to keep track. Have you played Neo? Yes, and Neo's another one of those games that's just hard for the sake of being hard, and I got a little frustrated. I don't think I finished that game. Okay, how do you feel about Aeneas? Oh, the wrestler guy? It's a cool story, how Hercules defeated him. Okay. Next on these. Devin Iglesias Fuller asks, what are your opinions on the representations of the characters in Super Giant's Hades? Oh, the Hades video game you're saying created by Super Giant Games. I thought it was done extremely well. The only one I didn't like was they went with a version of Demeter where she's not Zeus's sister, and I don't like that. It makes way more sense for her to be Zeus's sister, in my opinion. I think they just didn't go with that so that they would make it so Hades and Persephone aren't related. But who cares? It's Greek mythology. Everybody's related. But everyone else I thought was done really, really well. Really, really well. Muhammad Yusuf asks, what mythical figure do you think gets an unfairly bad rep? Hades. Everyone depicts Hades as a villain. He's not a villain. He's not a villain in mythology. I don't get it. What is the ugliest thing in every culture mythology? Oh, God. Okay, the ugliest thing. Well, in Greek, it's Medusa. Like, we all know that. She's so ugly, she turns whoever looks at her to stone. Um, uh, in Japanese, God, it's probably the Ashira Yashiki, the disgusting giant foot that crashes through people's ceilings. That I wouldn't want to look at that. In Aztec myth, there are so many options. There's the Tzitzimidal, there's the Awizot, there's the Kiwatateo, Sivatateo. There's a lot of. I'll just say Tzitzimidal for Aztec myth. For Egyptian myth, I don't know what I would call like ugly in Egyptian myth. Maybe like some of the mummies or something like that. Like, they're rotting corpses. We could say they're the ugliest. Yeah, but those are some of the ugly creatures in different mythologies. Oh, and also in Japanese, maybe Izanami is one of the ugliest because her husband literally ran away like screaming after he saw her face. How do you remember all these names? From reading their stories, playing games, and creating cards out of them. Creating cards out of them is one of the things that helps me remember it. Helped me get a lot of their names cemented into my head because I had to write their names on the cards and other things like that. What monster would you want as a pet? Cerberus. Cerberus all the way. All right, Matt Friesen asks, what are your thoughts on the webcomic Lore Olympus? Okay, so everybody tells me to read that. I will eventually read that, and I will talk about it on the channel, but I haven't read it yet. So when I do, you'll all find out. Phantom Farts 76, remember you. What will you do when you run out of mythologies? Well, I'll probably decay because I'll be long dead at that point because there's so much mythology. B Drone asks, do you play multiplayer video games? Oh, I've touched on this. If so, is it related to your interest in mythology? My interest in video games, actually, well, Age of Mythology was a big inspiration for my interest in mythology. And I've played that multiplayer a few times. I usually play local multiplayer games like Mortal Kombat, Smash Bros. I don't really play them online. I play them locally with my friends. The only online multiplayer game I think I play is the Avengers game. And if they ever do an event like rooted in Norse mythology, I think they're eventually going to do an event with Loki. They kind of built something like that up. I think I'll stream that live with you guys. Like, I'll probably invite you guys, any of you who play the Avengers game, to come join my group, and we'll play together, and we'll take down Loki. And I'll play as Thor, because I'm the mythology guy. But yeah, other than that, I don't really play... I used to play Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled online all the time, but now I've unlocked everything, so I don't play it that much anymore. But it's still a great game. Would you rather be Zeus or Odin? Zeus. He has both his eyes. I like having both my eyes. Yeah. And Zeus has less responsibilities than Odin. And Odin's got the impending Ragnarok. I don't want that. I feel like Zeus has it easier than Odin does. Do you watch anime like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Oh, I touched on that earlier. I do watch some animes, but I have not seen JoJo yet. Have you watched Jujutsu Kaisen? No, I haven't seen that yet either. Can you review the movie Thor? Yeah, some people were saying that on my 20,000 thank you video. I can do that in the future. That'd be fun. Why is Ares hated so much? Well, I think people think, one, because he fucks his brother's wife, and another because, like, he's always causing carnage, like, and stuff. But, Ares isn't as bad as people make him out to be. So he gets a little bit of an unfairly bad rap. Do you know that there is a character in Lord of the Rings whose name literally translates in Old Norse? Yeah, and that makes perfect sense because Lord of the Rings was inspired by Norse mythology, for anyone who doesn't know. Okay, Tremendous Yeet says, imagine one day you are walking down the street. You find a flash drive on the ground in good condition with no one around it. You take it home, plug it into your computer, and find out it contains confidential government information about an alien planet and intelligent life. You're about to unplug it, but you see a folder that says Mythology and Creeds. Ooh. would you be interested in viewing alien myth enough to risk committing a federal crime? Look, I want to learn alien myth, but I got my whole life ahead of me. I don't need, like, to be thrown in Guantanamo Bay. I mean, I would want to learn it so bad. I would call the government, obviously, and I'd say, hey, I found this. You guys might want to pick it up. And then I would ask them, can I please read the myth folder, though, please? Like, and if they said no, I'd be like, okay. Like, well, that would be what I'd do. What's your... Vasileos Argrio asks, what's your favorite Greek myth? The 12 Labors of Heracles. I love that story. Who is the coolest Greek monster? In my opinion, one of the coolest ones is the Chimera. I think the Chimera is awesome. Gay as Heck says he has to go. Goodbye, Gay as Heck. What a weird username, but goodbye. Yeah, I think the Chimera is really awesome, and the Hydra is really awesome. I think those are some of the cooler ones. Baldish Cower asks, favorite thing about Artemis and Apollo? Oh, favorite thing about them. Huh. What is my favorite thing about them? I mean, I like how badass and precise they are. I like how they move the sun and the moon. I like how their mother was able to give birth to them despite Hera's, I like how their mother defied Hera, kind of like how Hera forbade her to give birth, and she found a way to do it anyway. So that's a pretty cool thing about them. Connor Green asks, what is your least favorite god? I touched on this. It's Hera, just because she does some really messed up things, and there's not a lot of cool stories around her. So that's who I would say it is. Or maybe Anput, just because of how pointless of a god Anput is in Egyptian mythology. It's literally just female Anubis. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I'd say a bit of both. I used to be introverted, but I'm pretty extroverted now, so I guess I'm an extrovert now. Maybe not. Fair enough with Ares. He's son of Zeus. Him sleeping with his brother's wife does seem that out of context or weird. Come on, Zeus has children with his own children. Yeah, you got a point there. Favorite book by Rick Riordan? It's Last Olympian. Favorite god is Hades. Have you heard about the new Percy Jackson series, the Disney Plus series? Yes, I have heard about that, and I'm really hopeful. What is the cutest monster? Cutest monster. I'm thinking of all these different creatures. Probably the oh shit, I think I tore part of my shirt. Oh fuck. I was adjusting my shirt and part of it tore. Damn. It's just a tiny part in the back. Probably the jade rabbit from Chinese myth, the rabbit that makes medicine. It's really cute, and the art we have for it in the game is really cute. Here, I'll show it to you. It's also viewable on our Instagram. You guys should go check that out if you're cool people. If you're not cool people, then don't check it out. Yeah, here I have to dim it so that it doesn't so that it's visible. See, when it's bright, you can't see it. But yeah, here's our Jade Rabbit image for the game. Yeah, you can see it better on our Instagram page. What magical item would you bring to a fight? Either Zeus's Master Bolt or Mjolnir. Okay, Josh C. asks, what other interests do you have besides mythology? Oh, I never get asked that. Okay, I love comic books, I love video games, I love Legos very much. I am an obsessive builder of Legos, as I'm sure you guys have seen in the backgrounds of some of my videos. I'm also a big fan of Star Wars, and you can see that on a couple counts. I like to collect figurines and stuff like that, as you can also see. I was a Game of Thrones fan. Season 8 was terrible. What can you do? Yeah, I like sci-fi, I like fantasy, I like Legos. I like a lot of geeky shit. I'm a geeky-ass person. You want cute mythological creatures? I'd suggest the Kesagonaga. It's a cute bean, and it floats like a cloud. Oh my god. Have you read Record of Ragnarok? No, not yet. Have you ever met a Karen in the wild? Yeah. I actually know a Karen. I know one very well, and I'm not going to talk about her. Hi, I love your vids. Thank you, Tyler. I'm glad you love my vids. What god do you think you're the most like? I would say either Dionysus or Hermes, because I love to joke around, but I also love to host parties. So maybe Dionysus. I feel like that's the god I would be. How would you describe the hero's journey? Hero is born. Hero finds out hero is special. Hero goes out to seek his fortune, but encounters difficulty and colorful characters along the way who join in his journey, and eventually finds that he can defeat the great evil because he is special and his friends are with him. That's how I describe the hero's journey. Do you agree that the younglings had it coming? Oh my god. Well, considering what bad actors they were. Master Skywalker, what do we do? Okay. Random Casions asks, favorite god and why? Hades, because I love underworld gods. I always thought Hades was a total badass. And yeah, he gets a really bad rap, and he's really cool, and I really like his domain and his powers and everything. But also another one of my favorites is Sun Wukong, just because he's so entertaining, so fun, and has so many awesome powers. And another one of my favorites is Loki, because again, really entertaining and really creative the way he uses his plans and stuff. Who are the Karens of mythology? Well, Hera's one, and probably Demeter is another one. Which mythology do you want to know more about? Well, the 7 I listed at the beginning of this video. I really want to know more Native American, Mesopotamian, Filipino, Slavic, Arabian, Polynesian, and what was the last one? And more. I just want to know all of them. I want to know all the mythologies. Okay, Hello asks, are you having a good day? I am now. I like interacting with you guys. Always fun. Mm-hmm. Osiris or Anubis? Anubis. I like Anubis better. Will you do Aztec mythology? I have. I've done Aztec videos. I haven't done a ton, but I've done some. Go on my... this is a question from ACatLol, by the way. Go on my channel and search Aztec. You'll find some Aztec stuff. Also, Aztec mythology is in the game I'm making. Yeah. Dave the Pastry Maker asks, what gave you the idea for this channel? I answered that. It was my business partner. It was her idea. The Fiendling says, I'm back. Was my QA answered? I don't know. Which question was yours? I don't know if I've gotten to the Fiendling on here yet. Okay. Blatno Bear says, more togas, please. Okay, there will be more togas in the future. Have you ever played Hades? Yes, and there is a stream. You can watch videos of me streaming it at twitch.tv/Zaggard. Hey, I'm Filipino. Good for you, man, or woman, or whoever you are. Which god or hero has the best beard? Probably Zeus. Zeus usually has a really big beard. If you could travel back in time, which period would you visit? I'd visit Jesus. That's what I'd do. I'd want to see how that went down. And then I could come back and say, now I know for a fact. Opinion on the novel of Tragedy of Macbeth. Have you read it? A long time ago, the Macbeth story. I'm not a big Shakespeare fan, honestly. Because the way he writes is just really difficult to grasp. Maybe I'm just uncultured. One thing I do think is really funny is there are Shakespeare Star Wars books, like somebody wrote all the Star Wars script Shakespearean style. That stuff's really entertaining. Have you heard of Kane Chronicles? Yes, I've read them all. Are they behind me? No, they're on my shelf. Okay, well, yeah, I've read Kane Chronicles. Odin versus Zeus, who is stronger? Probably Zeus. Probably. I'm not 100% sure. It might be Zeus just because I think Odin's needed help every time he's defeated a big bad. All right. Loki Horseman asks, which god of the underworld is the most powerful from all the mythologies? That's probably... Now, that's probably the primordial god Tartarus. Because Tartarus is technically a spirit of the underworld, because the pit of Tartarus is in the underworld. It's under the underworld. So I would say the primordial god Tartarus is the most powerful underworld god. Ryber X asks, what mythology do you want to see in God of War? I'd love to see Aztec. I think that would be the most insane one for God of War. I want to see more use of Aztec mythology in like video games and stuff. What's your opinion on the Oracle of Delphi in Greek mythology? I mean, it's not much to have an opinion on. It's an oracle. She tells the future. It's, you know what? I don't think oracles should exist in mythology because they cause problems. No oracle has ever done a good thing. Telling the future has always ended badly, and I did a video on that called "The Oracle Has Had Enough." Camille Donna says, "Ooh, sorry, the thing. Come on." Oh god, okay. Scroll back down. Camille Donna says, "For who is stronger, Shiva, Huitzilopochtli, Zeus, Odin, Ra, or Amaterasu?" I think Shiva. Shiva's the kind of god who will destroy and dance on the earth. Like other gods do not have that kind of power. Like Shiva can become big enough to literally dance on the earth like itself. I don't think the other gods can do that. I think Shiva's the most powerful one, in my opinion. They are all sky fathers or mothers of their pantheons, if I'm not wrong. Well, you're almost right. Shiva is I don't think is as much a father of the pantheon as Vishnu is, but Shiva's one of the big three in that. So yeah, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. What is the worst mythology? Scientology. That's the worst one. Have you ever watched hentai? Okay, full disclosure, yes. And that's all I'm going to say. I think if they put Aztec myth in a video game, then it'll probably develop its own rating because of the whole ripping out hearts. I think you're right. Do you know Bakunawa? Yeah, the Filipino dragon who eats the moon. The causer of eclipses and earthquakes. Yeah, I know about Bakunawa. Ra versus Odin and Zeus. Who would win? Probably Ra, and I say that because Ra is powerful enough to literally create other gods, and I don't think Zeus or Odin can do that. They can do it by impregnating people, but Ra can create them from scratch. I have a question. Do you have any interest to learn in more myths from another country like Southeast Asia? I'm always interested in learning more mythologies. Always. So, yes. Did you know that Zeus in one story got sick and tired of Hestia and Artemis and Athena, so he bred with them all? I didn't know that. Oh, God. I heard Zeus shits thunder. Is this true? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I would be surprised because I don't think Zeus can create thunder from nothing. In his myth, he shoots thunder from his master lightning bolt, which was created by the Cyclopses. And another way he gets it is he has Hephaestus build thunderbolts for him. So I don't think Zeus can actually create thunder from nothing. I think he has to have someone else make it for him, is how he works. I'm Hindu, so POG to see you talking about this. Oh, great. What's your favorite death omen in mythology? Ooh, death omen in mythology. There's a few. Probably Ragnarok. there's a few others like the myth of Baldur's, the omen of Baldur's death, the Tuzaltototl omen owls from Aztec myth, the Strix omen owls, the omen of what's his name, the guy in Greek myth who, if you burned the log, he would die. But probably Ragnarok because that's the most badass one. Why is Zeus so horny all the time? Because he can be. Zeus, because he's the most powerful god, he can do whatever he wants and he lets it go to his head. Both his heads. Have you done any videos about Gilgamesh? Yes, I did a video called Gilgamesh is Irresponsible. Which mythological creature has the biggest blade? Biggest blade. Not a lot of mythical creatures have blades. Mythological creature with the biggest blade. I don't know, maybe the Grim Reaper? Does he count as a creature? Like, I don't know if you're saying just like monsters or like characters in general. Because I think one of the biggest blades in mythology might be Kronos' sickle. I'm just going to say Kronos' sickle. Yeah. All right. This is going to be tough to pronounce. I'm going to do the best I can. Hrithik, Hrithik, Hrithikeshvar Sriram. Hopefully I got that right. Hrithikeshvar Sriram says, I don't know if you've already done this, but have you looked into Hindu mythology? Yes, I have. And there are several Hindu mythology videos on the channel that you can find. I love Hindu mythology. I love how the Mahabharata ends. It's amazing. Pandastical says, what is the most boring mythology to you? Oh, I'm never bored reading mythology. So I'm just going to say Scientology, just to shit on it. No, I'm kidding. Boring mythology to me. Probably my own, Christianity. It's not super entertaining. Yeah, maybe just the mythologies. I'm not going to point out a specific one, but the mythologies that focus more on peace and inner peace, even though that's a good concept, it's not as awesome as other mythologies. So technically it's more boring, even though I still think it's a good beliefs to have. Do you know the Manananggal? Yes, I did a video about the Manananggal. I did a few, actually. I'm a head out. I'll watch the video after the stream. Later, Gators. Bye, false death god. Surtur indeed. I'm gonna go to sleep now. See ya. Okay, good night, Morgan Freakman. Is there a god in mythology who has only done good deeds? There's I think Vishnu has only done good things in mythology. Yeah, I don't think Vishnu ever did anything bad. Feel free to correct me, but I don't think he did. And again, that's because Hindu mythology. Hindu gods are nice. Love your videos. Have a great night/day. Thank you, Beth. All right, I'm going to get to the next one of these. The Fiendling. Here's your comment. The Fiendling asks, which gods or goddesses compare to each other amongst the mythos Touche learned about? Which gods or goddesses compare to each other amongst the mythos Touche learned about? Fiendling, I'm not really sure what you're asking, to be honest. Are you saying gods or goddesses that are the most alike? Because, a couple answers to that are, obviously the Roman gods are very similar to their Greek counterparts, but the two gods that are the most similar are Anubis and Anput. They're just gender-swapped versions of the exact same character. Laziest god? Probably Dionysus. He just sits around drinking all day. Yeah. Oh yeah, Hestia also has only done good things. Hestia never did anything bad. Okay, Froggy Stars says, I got a question. If you were ever a god, what kind of god would you be? Like, what would you be the god of? This has come up in past things. I would want to be a god of, like, having fun. So I'd want to be like Dionysus or something, like just throwing parties, having a good time. That kind of thing. That's the kind of god I would want to be. I would want to be the god who shows people a good time. Oh, Fiendling responds, sorry, not their jobs, just their personalities. Okay, so which gods have, like, the same personalities? Zeus and Odin are kind of similar to each other from what I've seen. Also, who else has a similar personality? Anubis and Hades. Anubis and Hades are both underworld gods who take their jobs seriously and get a really bad rap. I'd say Anubis and Hades would get along really well. Oh, also, Dionysus, and there's an Aztec rabbit god called, it starts with M-A. It's one of those names that I always have trouble remembering how to say. But there's this Aztec rabbit god, one of the Senzon-Totokten, who is a god of drinking and partying, just like Dionysus. So I think those two have similar personalities and will get along really well. So I hope all of that answers your question. Have you read both the Eddas? Yes, I have. I own one of them, actually. Is there a god whose power is being big? I mean, there's Shiva. He's huge. That's one. Jackie Plant says, do Immortals Phoenix Rising. I own Immortals Phoenix Rising for PlayStation 5, but I don't have a PlayStation 5 yet because the scalpers took them all. So once I get a PS5, I promise you I will do that. Riandur is back. Welcome back, Riandur. How did Zeus become leader of the gods? He was the youngest sibling. He was the youngest, but he was also the most powerful. And on top of that, he's the one who freed all his brothers and sisters from Kronos and won the Titan War. So all of those are reasons why he became the leader of the gods. 1, because he was the most powerful. 2, because he won the throne from his father. And 3, because he had saved all the other gods. So they all kind of owed him anyway. So there's actually a lot of reasons why Zeus became the leader. Have you talked about the Hades game yet? Yes, several times in this very video, and I did a stream of it at twitch.tv/Zaggard. Does every myth have mermaids? I don't think so, no. I don't think there are mermaids in Egyptian myth. I don't think there are. Actually, in one myth, Dionysus sexually assaulted Hestia. Oh my god. Joy! Do all mythologies have a leader god? Yes, they all do. Some have multiple. Nick6683 says, will you make a Discord server? I have a Discord... My friend Zaggard has a Discord server, which I pop into every now and then. Which I think is linked to his Twitch channel. But eventually I think I'll make my own, just so that I can interact better with everybody. What is written on your shirt? Asks Raven Ryu. They're talking about in the video I made. Okay, in that specific video, I'm wearing a shirt that's a Friends reference. It says, I'm not great at the advice. Can I interest you in a sarcastic comment? That's what the shirt says in that video. It's a quote from Chandler on Friends. All right, Darren Lin says, Sun Wukong is the best. Yeah, he's really great. Why does Hestia get no love? Because there's not a lot of stories about her. Not a lot of people know much about her. She doesn't have a throne on Olympus, so she's not well known enough. That's why. Which version of the Persephone Hades story legend do you believe is the most true? Well, technically they're all true. Technically, the oldest one is her just going there on her own and falling in love with Hades. I grew up with the one where she gets kidnapped, so I personally like to go with the one where she got kidnapped, but then she fell in love with him later. That's the one I usually go by, and that's just because it was my first one. Moctezuma Vargas says, turtle, just like he always does. Well, turtle indeed, sir. Turtle indeed. I agree with you. Turtle. Freaking turtle. He always says turtle. You still can't see it, my god. Turtle. All right. HDG13 says, why is? Why is? That's a good question. Well, because you see, if nothing is, then everything isn't. And then we don't have bacon. And you don't want to not have bacon. Bacon is delicious. So that's why is. Because otherwise isn't. And you don't want things to isn't. Have you read Mythology by Edith Hamilton? That sounds familiar. What book did Edith Hamilton write? Edith Hamilton. Oh, that one. Yeah, I read that one. Yeah, it's literally just called Mythology. Hestia is Bestia. Yes, it is. What is an Edda? Okay, there are two ancient Norse mythology stories called the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda. They are collections of Norse tales told through poetry. That's what the Eddas are. All right, and then our very last comment on this video, Jackaboy1408 says first. Good for you. Congratulations, Jackaboy, you were first. All right, well, that's all of the questions on that video. Now, it's just me in the chat. We've been at this for 2 hours and 13 minutes. So, I'm probably going to wrap up soon, but until then, I will talk with you guys here. We've still got 33 people watching right now, so What's up? Do you want to try East Asia mythology skit? So far, I hardly see anyone make videos on the subject. Yeah, maybe in the future. I mean, I do Chinese and Japanese and Hindu, but yeah, I haven't done much of the other stuff. Oh, and I do Filipino, so that's another one. Do you pull all-nighters? Once in a while, but it's not like a common thing I do. It's 3 a.m. here, and it just turned oddly quiet. Ooh, hope there's nothing ominous happening over there. Do you know Fate/Grand Order? Is that like a franchise or something? Because I'm not sure I recognize that. Anyway, I gotta go. Thank you for answering my question. Hope you enjoyed my Cerberus joke from your previous video. Okay, well, I haven't gone through the comments of my last couple videos yet, but when I see it, you'll know because I'll react to it. Goodbye, Fiendling. Sadly, I have to go to. Sounds like a lot of people have to go. Bye, guys. Sadly, I have to go to. Let me finish reading that. I have history test tomorrow. It's actually about Hinduism, so I learned a couple things about Shiva. Love your videos. Congrats on 20,000. Much love from Greece. Thank you very much, Michael. All right. What is the worst myth in your opinion? Oh, there's some myths that annoy me very much, like the Great Gambling Match. It's like, why do you keep rolling the dice when you know he's cheating and you know you're going to lose, you idiot? That myth, that story really pissed me off. And the fact that they were able to gamble their wife away too, that's just some sexist ass bullshit, which I don't like. So that the Great Gambling Match was a myth that just infuriated me, honestly, while I was reading it. Cerberus is best doggo. He's very nice. What's your favorite profession? I like doing comedy because I love making people laugh. So if I get to be funny, like when I always wanted to make people laugh. That's why I got into acting. So if I can make people laugh while acting or while doing comedy or while doing this, really those are what I like to do. Apollo and Poseidon wanted Hestia's hand in marriage once, but she stayed a virgin. Okay, good for her. Nyx made it. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Danny. Who is the strongest god out of all the myths? Oh, I touched on that earlier. It's either chaos or the primordial order from Egyptian myth, or Shiva from Hindu myth. I think those are some of the strongest gods. Do you ever heard of Badang before? It's a guy in Malaysian mythology who becomes the strongest human by eating jinn's vomit. Oh, I have not heard of that, but actually that sounds like a funny idea for a video. So I'm going to make a note of that. Just subscribed and you're live. Guess I'm lucky. Well, yeah, awesome. Yes, Fate is a franchise. Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Your channel was just recommended to me today, and I'm glad. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Yeah, same. Well, what the fuck? New fan from Thailand. Great content you have here. Thank you very much, Glucose Lover. Very happy to hear that. What is the coolest armor piece? Ooh, probably Aegis, the shield with Medusa's head on it that literally scares people when they see it. That's a really cool armor thing. I count shields as armor. If Zeus was real, will every man and woman have bastard children? Probably, yeah. You should watch it. If you're interested, you should watch Fate Zero first. Okay, I'll put that on the list of things to check out. Fate Zero. What myth do you think everyone should learn? I think everyone should start with Greek and branch off from there. I think that's the best way to handle it. Who do you think is the most slept on god in Norse mythology? Like who's hooked up the most? I could see Loki sleeping around the most, given how he is. He doesn't seem to have like any barrier to what he'll do. Freya has been nearly married off 2 times by Jotuns. Yep. Once by the one who built the wall, and once to the one who stole Thor's hammer. Oh, also another one, Thiassi almost took her, like the one who kidnapped Loki. So that's another time. What's the first myth you learned? The myth of Gaia and Uranus. That was the first myth I ever read, right from the start of Greek mythology. What do you think of Celtic mythology? I think it's awesome. I love Celtic mythology. I got into it first with the book Jake Jackson's Celtic Mythology and then some others. I have been there for you since 100. Oh, well, that's wonderful, Riandor. I'm glad you stuck around so long. How do you feel about Odysseus? Well, I feel like Odysseus went through a whole lot of crazy crap, and it's easy to harp on him for technically cheating on his wife twice, but he was away for 20 years, and he also kind of did it to survive. Like, he had to bang Circe to get her to give him his crew back, and Calypso kind of had him hostage, so it's like, I make jokes about him cheating, but what could you do? I feel like Odysseus, that poor guy, never got to be happy. Went through the Trojan War, went through the Odyssey, then shortly after got home, he got killed. Poor guy. I have a YouTube channel. Oh, good for Riordan. Check out Riordan's YouTube channel, people. Did you know that Athena, in one myth, she let yeah, we touched on that earlier. No, I mean the most underrated god. Who's the most underrated god? Diomedes, the Lord of Beans. Oh, I actually talked about this in my Twitch chat. One of the most underrated gods is Zongqi. Look up his story. He's really cool. Thanatos versus Hades. Who's stronger? Hades. Thanatos works for Hades. If Thanatos was stronger, he'd be ruling the underworld. Which is the most popular in mythology? Greek. Everyone knows about Greek. If you want to have money, don't play Fate Grand Order. You can't escape the hellhole. Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind. What Edda do you own? The Prose Edda. Wow, you're still live? It's been 3 hours. Well, it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's impressive. Good job. Hey, you heard the story of Sura and Balo before? I don't think I've heard that one, no. Freya got sexually assaulted by Loki. Great. Are you proud of yourself? Kinda. You know, I'm proud of the community we've built here, and I'm proud of the game I've made, and I'm proud. There are things, yeah, I'm proud of myself. I am. And it's thanks to you guys in some ways. So thank you for that. You've helped me build something I can really be proud of, and I'm happy about it. Yeah. Your video, Greek versus Norse, is one of the best you've made. Well, I'm very glad to hear that. If you were still mortal and given an ancient weapon that's not a siege machine, what monster would you fight? What monster would I fight? I'm trying to think of something easy. The Jade Rabbit. It's just a little rabbit who makes medicine. I'll fight him. And then it's over. Does Anubis boss around jackals? He was created to, so hopefully he does. He was created as a way to stop jackals from eating dead bodies. What's the funniest mythological story you have heard? Oh, God. One story that legit made me laugh was actually when Tsukuyomi had a feast with another god, and he asked her how she got the food, and she revealed that she got it all by vomiting it up. That made me laugh, honestly. That was a pretty funny story. Also, the story of Loki making Scotty laugh by tying his testicles to a goat and letting the goat yank on his balls. That's a funny freaking story. Odysseus dies shortly after getting back. Damn, never knew that. Yeah, it's the sequel to the Odyssey where his son, he had a son with Circe. His son comes to meet Odysseus and accidentally kills him because Greek mythology. What books on myth would you recommend? Go to the description of any of my recent videos and click the Amazon store link. You'll see all the books I recommend. I think me and you are the same about mythology. Maybe we are. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm just going to shoot through the chat real quick and try to catch up with everything. If holiday myth have a battle royale fight, which one do you think will win and be the ultimate holiday myth? Halloween. Halloween has all the most deadly creatures, like Stingy Jack and the Headless Horseman and Samhain. I think, Krampus would probably hold up well, but I think Halloween would win the holiday fight. Good to hear you're proud of this amazing thing you've built, man. Thank you very much, Dave. That's very sweet of you to say. Freya is the most abused Nordic god. I don't think she's the most abused, but she's the most objectified, and everybody always tries to take her. You're the most wholesome YouTuber ever. Thank you, Eliazi. That's really sweet of you. Cerberus, his name is Spot. Yep, everyone keeps pointing that out. Cerberus translates to spotted. You should be proud. Myth is inherent to human culture. Thank you very much, Tyler. Fun fact, Surabaya is a city in Indonesia. Oh, cool. The fake Jake Lamp. Who is the scariest skeleton? That's Tsitsi Meadle from Aztec mythology. It's like a mixture of being a skeleton and other creepy shit. Uh, da, da, da. Okay, that's to someone else. You've done a lot to teach many people the lessons that are built into mythology. You should be proud you've done well. Thank you so much, Josh. That's super heartwarming to hear. Bruh to you too, Neil. I thought it was Susano that killed her. Alternatively, she pulls food from... No, it was Tsukuyomi who killed her, but Susano tried to kill Amaterasu at one point. What's your favorite mythology? Greek, just because it's the one I know the best and had first. Bye, see you later. Okay, see you later. Hope you have a good day. I hope so too. Do you have a Discord where we can just chill and hang out with you while you're not trying to catch a live thing? I'm gonna make one. I'll make one I'll try to make one soon, Morgoth Lord, and I'll let everyone know about it. I'll make a video about it when I make it. Goodbye, see you later. Did you know there was a Norse goddess named Saga? I don't think I've heard of that one. Favorite line by you? Late man, have a great day and see you in the comment section of your videos, man. Yeah, I'll see you too, Dave. Nyx breed with Artemis, but Nyx wiped her memory so she couldn't remember it. That's freaking messed up. Don't leave. I don't want to have to deal with 3 a.m. demons. I'm sorry, Mr. Ben. When I searched the cutest Filipino mythology creature, I got the scariest creatures. Yeah, watch out. Filipino can be scary. I really love all your skits. I feel like you teach small facts about mythology in a very fun way. Thank you very much, Brian. You are my favorite YouTuber. That's such an honor. Thank you so much, iRogues. I agree. Aw, Mr. Ben, you're still here. Rhyme orange and silver. I already made a video about that. I ain't doing that. You can't rhyme orange and silver. Literally nothing rhymes with them. I know everyone loves to say door hinge, but that technically doesn't actually rhyme with orange. I know the Drake and Josh joke. I enjoy all of your videos. Been wanting to start making my own mythology videos on my channel, but have been procrastinating. You gotta make a schedule. You gotta say, I have to make this many videos a week or this many videos a day, depending on it. My partner, I used to have a huge procrastination problem, and my partner made a schedule for me and said, this is what you're doing and this is when you're doing it, and it got me going. That's how it is. Remember, you have to, it's all about discipline and getting into the groove of things, you know? Once you make it a habit, procrastination will stop being an issue. Is it weird that Loki dies by hanging himself from a tree of life? I don't think that's how Loki dies. Loki gets killed by Heimdall in Ragnarok. Loki and Heimdall kill each other. I think you're thinking of Odin, how he stabbed himself to master the runes. Who is the Greek magic god? Hecate. Hecate. So Greek is your favorite because of nostalgia? Yeah, pretty much. Can we get a fun fact on Kratos? I did a fun fact on Kratos. About the original Kratos. And I also did another fun fact about God of War 3. Check those out. Check those videos out. I have fun fact about Kratos and what you might not know about God of War 3, and also what you might not know about God of War. I've got 3 different videos that kind of delve into Kratos and God of War. And I have some skits about Kratos too on the channel. You picked on all my questions, but I only said my name once. Okay, cool. Wait, I saw you on TikTok yesterday. Oh, cool. Awesome. See you and have a good day. Hope you have a good day too. I'm late. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a Teletubbies. I'm sorry. Okay, haha, way to blow my socks off. Saga was the only mentioned in one poem in one stanza, so I don't blame you for not knowing about her. She's like the Hestia of Norse mythology. Ah, that makes sense. Okay, mythology guy, bye. You guys, see you next time. Bye, see ya. I can literally hear banging outside. The 3 a.m. demons are after me. Oh, Mr. Ben, you got to start praying to some gods, man. Hecate is the Greek goddess of magic. I don't know a god of magic. Is it just me, or are the Aztec deities scary? Hell yeah, they are. I have started with Greek, and the first story I read about was the war with the Titans. Yeah, that makes sense. Stop reading after this. Be kind to yourself. The scariest myth? One of the scariest myths is the myth of Wan Yudo from Japanese mythology. Look it up. It's fucked up. Which god has the biggest sword? Probably Tyr from Norse myth. That would be one of my guesses. Or Susano. He has a big sword, too. Oh crap, you're right about Odin. Sword. Have you played Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Not yet. I will, and I'll stream it. Thank you. I'm going to go watch it right now. Bye. Awesome. Can't wait to see the Athena movie and skit about mocking the other gods because she is getting a movie. And in one myth, Zeus sexually assaulted Artemis and Athena and Hestia. Yeah, I know about that. I actually did a video called Athena's Agent, which is where she is upset about her movie history. You can check that out. Why are you so cool? I'm glad you think so. Thank you very much, Gonzalo. I wish education was as fun as watching your content. Well, my content can be educational, I've been told, so in a way it is. I have prayed to every bloody god and it's not stopping. How do you feel about the Percy Jackson movies? I don't particularly like them, and one day I'll talk about them more on the channel, like I might make videos about them. Which god is made of paper? I'm sorry, I don't know. I feel like there's a Japanese origami god or something. I'm sure you could find one there. Which god would polish my spear? Oh my god. Aphrodite surely would. Do you watch Dragon Ball Super? I haven't watched Super yet. I'm waiting, but like I need to find a good way. I want to read the manga first, and I'm waiting for the manga to finish before I read it. Because when I read Dragon Ball and Z, I blew through the whole thing all in one go. So like I know I'm going to do the same with Super. Are you disappointed about the Titans in God of War 4? Well, there weren't any Titans in God of War 4. Please don't ever quit. I don't plan on. The banging has calmed down. I'm very happy to hear that. What's your favorite mythology-based series? Percy Jackson. I love it. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop now, so please stop asking questions. Guys, it's been 2.5 hours. This has been a great Q&A. I really love you guys. Thank you for all your questions. I'm glad I was able to get all these done. I'm glad I was able to eventually catch up with the chat. A lot to deal with, and thank you so much for all your support and all the nice things you guys have said. This is just, you guys are a fantastic audience, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon because I really don't want to disappoint you guys. I want to keep making stuff that you guys enjoy. I'm so glad you guys enjoy my stuff. I'm glad the channel has grown quite a bit recently, and thank you. Thank you for everything you guys do. There will be more in the future. I do these every month. The next one will probably be earlier in the day so more people can be included. I love you guys. Yep, there's the end stream button. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.